Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Hollywood After Dark. It is the 5th of October, 2022, a day that could potentially go down in history of films. Is this the day Cavill's return as Superman, as the Man of Steel? Is it confirmed for Black Adam? We're going to be talking about that, Lord of the Rings Violent Night trailer, and a whole hell of a lot more. This is Hollywood After Dark. You know what it is. Smash the like and let's fucking go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing tonight? I hope everyone out there is doing well. We're going to try the camera. We're going to hope that StreamYard can hold on for dear life. I meant to install my new Ethernet cord. Couldn't do it, but I wanted to give it a shot anyway. With any luck, it will hold. Today, man, today's been definitely an interesting day in regards to movie news and movie commentary. I'm a little bit late tonight for that. I do apologize because, guys, well, quite frankly, I was with my children. We were watching Hocus Pocus 2, and then I had to come and record my review for Podio Commentary, which is going to be available at youtube.com/Podio Commentary after the end of this stream. I might post it while we're live. I don't quite know, but it's a long review. It's a spoiler review. Here's a little bit of a tease for that thing. Yeah, I really liked it, and I look forward to talking about it some more. I think it's a fun review. Go ahead and check that out. youtube.com/Podio, Podio, commentary. Like I said, tonight we're going to be talking about this new particular piece of information surrounding Henry Cavill, Black Adam. It's been a thing. And then we've got Jimbo is in the back room. I don't know if he is back yet. He'll let me know when he is. He's going to come on and talk. Reed, am I doing call-ins today? Probably not. Probably not, because in about an hour and a half, we are finally getting the return. The glorious, the magnanimous return of one Mr. Matt fucking Murdock. Yeah, right? Matt Murdock's coming back, She-Hulk. They dropped a clip. I'm not going to play the clip. I'll tell you why I'm not going to play the clip. In case you don't want to have it spoiled for you, I haven't watched it yet because I know it's there, but I didn't watch the clip. I don't want it spoiled. I don't want to watch it on Twitter with Twitter compression and how crap that is in order to, I want to appreciate it on my big screen television with my headphones on, enjoying the moment. I'm very much excited for that one. Is Hocus Pocus 2 better than Monsters? Yes. It doesn't take a lot for a movie to be better than Monsters. However, here's the thing with Hocus Pocus 2. If you liked Hocus Pocus, I do think this one is a better movie than the first one for a number of reasons, but I actually really enjoyed some of the storytelling conventions that they used and how they actually didn't treat the audience like the audience was stupid, which I actually thought that they were going to. I was really surprised, but I really enjoyed it. Donovan here says, I watched it, can't wait. Oh, you talking about the clip. Yeah, I know, man. I know. Look, here's the thing. I know it's there. I don't need to watch it. I don't need to watch it. I know what's going to happen. I'd rather enjoy it in full context rather than just to get the tease. But I know why Disney's doing it. I understand why they're doing it. They do that kind of crap all the time. It's just what they do. Music Man here says, I saw the clip. I'm still going to watch the episode like a hawk. I completely understand. That's going to be a lot of people are going to get a kick out of that thing there. Taylor here says, hey, what's up? What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Tales from the Hood TV says here he's in Black Panther, apparently. Are you saying Charlie Cox is in Black Panther? That in Wakanda Forever, Charlie Cox is going to make an appearance? I mean, why not? Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. I have not seen Andor yet. Last night, I just played video games for a little bit, went to bed. And that's what I've been doing. And then obviously, I don't know if you guys saw it today, I posted a little video kind of calling out reaction channels, as I feel like most of them fake it, especially someone named Soups. Well, if you all know who Soups is, like I said, he's got a very punchable face. I have a very punchable face. I understand that, but my God, there's all that. Oh, you're talking Dr. Doom. Oh, yeah. That's been the rumor that Dr. D pops up in that thing there. That's what it says. Reed here says Andor was decent. Things are heating up though. Yeah, I'm hearing that. I'm gonna check it out probably tomorrow when I have a little bit of time to do stuff. Let's see. Donovan here says, I don't feel like every reaction channel fakes it. I don't think all of them are paid. It's not about, okay, being paid in this regard is not 100% about monetary. It is about getting early access. It is about getting invited to stuff. It really is about trying to cultivate something. When you've got like, okay, you can tell when a person is honestly reacting to something in many different ways. There's a lot of nonverbal cues that somebody will give off to really let you know that they're completely in on it. One of the problems that we find when it comes to people like Soups, when it comes to other people, is that you can tell that they are actively pushing for something. They're looking for anything that they can to react to, right? And it's you know, oftentimes when you go see a movie theater trailer, right? When you're in the theater, you know, seeing a trailer like this for the first time. Remember back in the day, do you think they went, "Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! My nips can cook glass! Oh my God!" They don't do that. They don't do that in the theater because they're watching it. They might clap at the end or, you know, do whatever, but they're not overreacting. And the problem with it is the overreaction. It's the performance of it. Someone said in a comment on the video, I thought was really funny. They had said, well, you know, like people out there, they just want, they want the over the top stuff. And I'm all like, yeah, but did they acknowledge that it's not real? I think when you watch someone talk about movies, having an actual honest reaction is something that's going to be really good. But that's my particular take on it. I have a lovable face. That's a lie, Shiny. Look at this. I've got to lose some weight though, man. This shirt is also not the best on me. It's not the most flattering, to be fair. I wasn't planning on going on camera for some reason. You know, but I've had this shirt for a while. It's just, I've lost weight. So it just looks like it kind of swallows me. It's just comfortable. So I wear it. Yeah, Music Maker says no one reacts like that 100%. H Barts here says I hate Soups, pure cringe. It said Soups' voice and personality are obnoxiously bro-tardy. I know I've said that over and over again, but it's still true. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, you're using the word brotard and you're a lefty. That's kind of no. You can't say the T word. You can't say tard. We're in a post-tard world, man. Let's see. Anthony asking, did I watch Cobra Kai season 5? I did not. How am I buzzing? Everything on my end sounds fine. I mean, I just took a drink. That might be what you're hearing, but otherwise it should sound absolutely fine. Nothing is on here that would be causing any kind of interference, and I'm not getting any indication from. No, Andrew here says it's kayfabe. Wrestling is fake, but and I don't see here. Now I see it messing up. We'll give it a quick second here. Yeah, I sound good. I don't know. Now I see the little icon, which is a thing. Okay. Music Manager says you got to watch Cobra Kai. You are missing out. I hear that about Cobra Kai. I hear that about the show. I know it's 5 seasons in. There's a lot to watch. It's really about time. You know what I mean? It's really about timing at this point. Is just like, do I have the time? I think maybe post season, post like, Andor and Rings of Power and House of the Dragon, and I can marathon it without feeling like I'm behind. I could do that and do pretty well. Yeah, frame drop, of course it is. I need to run that cable. Yeah, I know. I couldn't get to it in time tonight. It will be a thing. We'll see what happens with Jimbo here. If it actually holds. What up, Jimbo?
Nothing much. What's up?
That's such a weird light up microphone that you have. Is that the same one Max has?
I know it's just like the same one that Segi has. I don't know if Max has the same one. I know Segi does.
So weird. I mean, like, it's just like it draws the eye there. Never mind the very obnoxious coloring coming out of your tower.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why it's so bright. It's not that bright, but on the camera, it's like obnoxiously bright. I don't understand. I gotta probably tune the camera a little bit, but
part of the reason for that, to be honest with you, has everything to do with like the type of camera and like the fact that you're using auto. and the auto is drawn to whatever has the most light.
True.
That's really what it boils down to. Like, I mean, I'm on
Yeah.
my little digital camera here, and so it looks better, but still I've got like 2 lights on. I've got this thing on the monitor, so it's casting light at me. And then I'm trying to keep enough of it off the back so you can see the blues from the fairy lights, because you know that's what they're called.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten around to fix it. I just like threw the camera up, and I'm just like,
no, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, like, you know, I'm trying to be on camera more. I'm trying to push for that in many ways, but you know, it is just, for some reason, lighting for me is a massive problem. Like, either I look way too gray, or I look way too like blue, or I'll turn it up a little bit, and then I just look like whatever Italian blood is in me comes out. You know what I mean? Like, it just, like, all of a sudden I just go flush. Like, I look like I'm an orange potato. It's just very difficult to have that type of, you know, like, look. God damn it. I watch all these guys and they have like these really nice cameras and like all this set up, and I'm just like, I want that. Oh, I got to invest more money. Fuck that.
Yeah, you have to get like a professional camera and like all this stuff. Like, no.
I've got an 18-inch ring light like right here that's like got a t-shirt on it as like a secondary diffuser, because I got a diffuser on it. And then I got a t-shirt on there as a secondary diffuser, and it's still like so fucking massive. You know, I need to go, and then I have a 14-inch ring light. I should probably pull that out. It's smaller. And then, you know, I'm just like trying to figure out like how to like maximize my space and lighting. It's crazy. It's just, you know, this is what happens when you do this kind of content, right? The moment I start to care, that is the moment when my OCD kicks in. I'm all like, that's not right. That's not right. This isn't right. This is a problem. And then I just say, fuck it. I burn myself out, and I end up going off camera. So that's how that works. But
yeah.
So what was going on over on Max's stream? What was happening with that? It was what was he complaining about now? I missed it because I was watching the movie.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like in and out of paying attention because I was playing Warzone on the PC. So we were talking about obviously kind of Syl and his kind of talking about like how DC Warner Bros. Is releasing or having an unreleased film coming out before, I think, Aquaman, and they're saying like multiple different things. Like you said, like, I was told, and then I like sources or something like that. He basically said it like he was told personally, and then it was reported from like an outside source, and he's just taking in that information, kind of playing like both sides of that from his dialogue on that aspect. But yeah, it was pretty much just him saying that, yeah, like either or they're talking about an unreleased or unlisted film for DC content, and a lot of people I think he said that it was the Ayer cut or some other work.
Oh, they're holding on that Ayer cut comment. They need the Ayer cut to come out this year. They've been teasing it forever. Right? They've been teasing it forever. They're just like, the Ayer cut 2022, mark my words. You can live and die by what I say. It's happening. And then you're like, well, it's currently October 5th. We have just about 2.5 months left of the year. No indication about the Ayer cut. However, if you know, I guess if HBO Max wants to somehow like fight Disney over the holiday break with Avatar and whatever else is coming out, by all means, give it a shot. H-Bart's here with $5, man. Thank you so much right off the bat with a nice super chat. Did you see HBO and Netflix's horrible ideas for Lord of the Rings if they had won the rights? Oh, I've got that article queued up. I want to take a look at that article. It's
horrible. Like, they're brain dead. I swear, Netflix is just brain dead.
No, the thing is though, they're right. That's the thing, is like their approach is very where we are right now in regards to that. Like how they would have, okay. I don't want, we can dive into that real quick. Oh, real quick before we dive into that though, did you see the Violent Night trailer?
No.
Check this out. This is
David Harbour.
David Harbour is Santa Claus in fucking Die Hard on Chris. Oh wait, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Now we actually have a Die Hard Christmas film. Universal is gonna fucking completely copyright claim this, but you know what? I want to share it with you guys. I got it right here. Let's check it out.
You ain't driving, are you?
I steer a little, but the ranger do most of the work.
This is my 4th year as a Santa. How about you?
I started the whole damn thing.
It's Christmas!
We decided that you could have one gift.
Early.
What is it?
That is a direct hotline to Santa Claus himself.
I can talk to Santa.
All right, revelers. Welcome to your worst Christmas ever.
Let's go!
You have $300 million in your personal vault. That's what I want for Christmas.
I don't want any trouble, okay? Someone's gonna scooch up that chimney.
Who is he? Because he's not your typical mall Santa.
Santa, are you there? Daddy said you were very busy tonight. My name's Trudy Lightstone. Are you gonna help us, Santa?
Yeah, Trudy.
Santa?
You're on my nice list. Santa Claus is coming to town. Time for some season's beatings.
Who the hell are you?
Boss, what if he really is the real?
No such thing as Santa.
These bad men, they're all on my naughty list. Naughty. That's naughty!
And what do you do to the naughty ones?
I give them a lump of coal.
Where is it?
I gotta watch.
I believe in you, Santa.
Come on. Which one of you did that? Prancer? So unprofessional.
All right, I gotta kill it real quick. I got the notification that it's like you're playing copyrighted material.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude, that look. It's like a funny concept, but it actually looks really good. Like it just looks funny, dude.
It to me, it looks like okay. So it's from the producers of Nobody and Bullet Train. Right?
And I could definitely see
and John Wick. It's from the same. It's from like, and even the was it Day Shift, the Netflix one that came out back a couple months ago. That one was also from like the same kind of crew. So it's like, okay, I finally saw Nobody a few months ago. I had not seen it, but I finally watched it, loved it. This is very much in the same vein as Nobody. This is going to be super violent, over the top. I do fear that the trailer gives this gives away a little bit too much.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
like, but I also feel like there's going to be enough violence in the movie to kind of like you'll be okay with that, right? Now, McLeod here, with a really odd take, I would definitely watch this over Fat Man. Fat Man's an entirely different beast of a film, but I love Fat Man because the trailer for Fat Man established Santa Claus is real. He's a bitter old cynic, and the kid hires a hitman to go to the North Pole to kill him. That's the movie. And you're like, all right, cool. And then Mel Gibson gives a great performance throughout the entire film. It's a fun movie to watch. It's got some good violence in it. It's got a good story. We'll see more out of it. H-Bar's here for $2 saying, let's get David Harbour, Mel Gibson's Fat Man. Well, you know, unfortunately, Fat Man rated through Lions, believe, and this one's through Universal, so the likelihood of that happening is near. But yeah, it'd be kind of fun.
I don't care. Make it happen. We gotta
make it happen. We gotta fund it, motherfucker.
We gotta see who the real Santa Claus is in this bitch. We gotta see.
yeah. There you go. Gotta make it real hardcore up in this motherfucker, man. I guess. I mean, look, the way I basically see it is that you know, a movie like this is going to be a lot of fun. It's a violent holiday movie. You know, I almost feel like it should be a streaming movie, but it is coming to theaters, so I think that's going to be good to fill that void. It's also going to be going up against all the other holiday films, which they're probably look. If you look at it, the budget looks relatively low. Even Nobody had a very kind of minimalist budget. John Wick had a smaller budget. These films can work well because they're largely really contained to an extent. I mean, John Wick expanded more as it went on, but but this one looks like it's basically just Die Hard in a mansion. So it's Home Alone with actual Santa Claus and a fuckload more violence. Sign me up. I don't think I'm asking for anything more than that. Well, I will say this though. The one element of that story that I find to be the most fascinating, at least head scratching to some extent, is the whole thing about how they give a girl, like an 8-year-old girl, a direct line to Santa Claus, and what I'm wondering though, is that like, it's probably just like it's probably not a real line to Santa Claus at the time, meaning like they told her that it's just a walkie talkie. Maybe they're going to be like, oh, we'll let her pretend that it's Santa Claus. We'll just let her hear it or whatever, but we'll fake it. And then like he actually shows up and then finds it or whatever. And that's how they communicate. I think that could be like a fun way of going about it. I agree with the Roman numerals here. It could be a fun romp. There we go. So Taylor says, so what were you saying the other day about canceling Christmas? No Christmas, no movies like this. Imagine this movie in a fucking haunted house. Think about that. Imagine this movie in a haunted house. How cool would that be? Right? How cool would that be to have a movie like this in a haunted house and the terrorists don't know who the fuck they're up against? Because there's darkness, there's different rooms, there's different themes, there's fake blood everywhere, fake weapons everywhere. You don't know what's real. You don't know what's fake. I mean, they've done horror movies that take place in haunted houses, right? Or haunts or whatever you want to call it. But imagine this kind of movie in that setting.
It would be interesting.
You could still call it Violent Night. You could still call it that, even if you didn't have Christmas.
Very true.
I'm just saying. Matt likes being a Scrooge. It's not that I like being a Scrooge. It's just, did you hear my rant the other night about why I think Christmas should be canceled?
No.
Okay.
Why?
Well, because fuck it. That's why. But no, what I said effectively was just, let's cancel Thanksgiving and Christmas. Okay. Let's just get rid of them. Just move them off the map. Okay. Then what we do is we go September 1st through December 31st, Halloween season. It's 4 months of Halloween. 4 months of Monster Mash, 4 months of candy corn, 4 months of freaking costume parties, 4 months of like skeletons and zombies and crows and horror movies and shit. And not just like a month and a half of it before it's over. And then immediately, as soon as, November 1st rolls around, it's like, hi everyone, have you been checking out your pumpkin spice latte in order to get ready for Thanksgiving? Fuck that, dude. Let's have more Halloween, less Thanksgiving. We can still kill birds, right? How many animals get slaughtered on Halloween anyway? How many get sacrificed to the pagan gods? Quite a few. No, not a year goes by where you don't hear an article about that. There's not a year goes by where you don't read an article about some kind of ritualistic sacrifice of an animal over the holiday. Terrible. I don't like it, not condoning it. But what I mean by that is you can maybe move away from that a little bit by offering up a turkey as a sacrificial bird rather than an animal. Well, that is an animal. You know what I mean.
Also to say, like,
you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Like,
you know what I mean. It's
like
ethically slaughtered. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, on Thanksgiving, I do go hunting usually when I'm not like terribly busy, and it's quite a lot of fun because I come back and I have, like through the whole winter, through the summer, I have a whole freezer full of venison, and I'm just like, like I'm always happy just knowing I have meat in the freezer.
Yeah.
It's definitely an experience.
I have not eaten venison in a very long time, but I remember like
one of the healthiest meats
it is
you can have. So it's worth it.
I was 15 once and I got drunk while my parents were at work and I was off for school break, winter break. And it was like 4 PM and I was hungry because I was hammered. And I was like, we've got elk in the freezer. I can make this thing. It was like a full one, right? I have no idea how long to cook it for. This is before
a little harder for
yeah,
sure.
I threw it in the oven for a solid like hour, and I'm all like, I don't know what's happening here. And then I sobered up, and I'm like, wait a minute, I might have made a gigantic mistake. I actually just threw it away, which is completely wasteful, and I felt very embarrassed afterward. But I was 15 at the time, so you know, I was a delinquent.
My gosh.
Drinking booze. This is a note to parents: don't leave vodka where your teenagers can find it, you bastards.
Yeah, blame the parents.
Well, you know what? Listen. All right, I'll take my own my own bit of responsibility on that front. But I'm also gonna, go. Hey, it's like my parents knew I was a smoker.
Don't tempt me.
And they left out their packs of cigarettes and never questioned why so many went missing. Never questioned. Never questions. I have a feeling my mom knew, and she just it's like a parent that knows their kid is sexually active and leaves out condoms and pamphlets and shit to let their, having the conversation about the birds and the bees. They leave all of it out. They go, okay, so I know the kid will know that I know, but we're just not going to have that conversation. And I think in this particular case, my mom knew I was a smoker. So she was like, oh, he likes Camel Lights. Okay, well, at least he's not a Marlboro fan, or something like that.
At least he's not smoking the Marlboro Reds.
Yeah. At least he's not smoking the wacky tobacco. But then when I caught my parents smoking weed, they were really embarrassed. And I don't give a fuck.
Are you still holds up?
No, I caught my mom once. We were camping, and we were doing an RV up and down the West Coast, right? We took it down to the redwoods and shit, and we stopped off for a little bit. And I'm with my brother and my sister, who are very young. I'm well older than they are, and I'm with them. And I end up going to look for my mom, and I come across her with a Coke can, and she's doing the Coke can bong, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
That's cool. Coke
I'm like,
can.
She's token in the forest and shit. She's like, I'm like, just fucking go smoke. What the fuck? Do you want me to get you an apple and a stem?
Dude,
is that what we're gonna do here?
Holy shit! I was literally about to say I could one up the Coke can. My friends actually sent me it back in I think this is how bad it was. I think we're in freshman or sophomore year of high school, and they said this is my old friend group. They sent me a photo of them smoking weed out of an apple. I'm like, I had no idea what this was.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've never done it myself. I don't smoke weed. I could maybe less than 10 times in my entire life I've ever gotten high. But yeah, no Roman numerals. They weren't Camel Crush, although this was the 90s, dude. Although when Camel Crush was a thing. Yeah, I smoked Camel Crush, man. I was at the store the other day and I saw how much cigarettes are now, and I'm just like, I'm so happy. I figure
for that cancer, bro.
I figure I quit 16 years ago. And so I feel like I was saving myself when I quit $150 a month. And now I look at it, I'm like, I'm saving myself at least $300 a month, because I would probably smoke a pack a day still, because you just get into it, right? Or I would have gone to vaping, I think, but
yeah, it's just mainly for people with that. It's the oral fixation. It's either that or chew a bunch of gum, or just have some sort of.
Well, that's how I quit. Actually, I don't have I kind of got here. I got a pen, right? Fuck shit. It's a marker.
You have a pen.
I have a pen. So I would hold it like this, right? So I'd hold it like this. I'd be in class, and so I'd usually a big pen or whatever, right? And I would just go. And you just do that a whole bunch. So you can just put it in your mouth like this, right? While you're just hanging out talking to your friends, and just you just treat you're smoking a cig, and then go through the motions. And as you're doing that, it ends up you end up getting the same kind of physical enjoyment out of it, right? I did that when I was quitting. I went to this club in San Diego on reggae night of all things. And a couple of the girls I knew from the strip club were there. We ran into each other, right? So we're outside on the patio, and they're smoking, and I go out with them, and I pull up my pen cap, and I'm just like, yeah, how's work going? And they're like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I quit smoking. This is how I'm getting through it. And they're like, oh, that's a good idea. And I'm like, yeah. And I keep telling everybody about it. you know, and no one ever believes me. But you know what? No nicotine patches, no nicotine gum, no hypnosis. I mean, I ate like a motherfucker and I gained like 25 pounds in a year, but you know, hey, listen, I lost it the second year.
Hey, yeah.
So there's
You
that. That's
gained
how you do
weight,
it.
but that's, you know, at least you didn't get cancer.
Yeah. Well, I don't have cancer yet. I mean, let's be fair. Let's be fair.
Dude.
It could still potentially happen.
Yeah,
Let's see here. You know, I'm just saying it's like there's just H. Bryce here says I vape every few months when I get the urge. I mean, I quit before vaping was a thing. Now I have kind of what you would call long COVID. Apparently I caught COVID. I never really realized I caught it. Or I just developed like later in life adult asthma. So it's like, I think it was from COVID. I think it was from COVID and everything else. And so it's just like, it's just my lung capacity is shit. So I can't smoke as it is. And I'm actually really thankful for that because, it's better for me. But at the same time, I'm like, oh man, my stamina goes to shit on certain days. Like it's bad. Like I can't, if I walk up a flight of stairs, I'll feel like this whole thing is on fire. I'm like, I should probably get that looked at. My doctor's just like, here's a fucking inhaler. I'm like, okay, it's state covered, so I'll take it, but still. Anyway, H Bar's here for 5 bones. Thanks, buddy. Says, sometimes I pick up a rotisserie chicken from Sam's or Costco and just eat it in a day. Yeah, I mean, I've done that too, but I mean, usually it's my girlfriend and I turning it in like, you know, a solid big ass salad. But yeah, the rotisserie is pretty good from there. 2 pounds for $5. Can't beat that. All right. Command unit here. Interrogator EP3 seen walking the city 133. All right, man. We'll check that out there towards the end. Thank you so much for that. Of course, obviously we're getting into some Warhammer territory tonight. So hail to the yeah on that one. All right. So why don't we, asthma sucks. It does. It really sucks. Tales from the Hood here says, I love weed. It makes me happy. I definitely need to get high more often. I think that would really help with my OCD, right? Or it'd make it really worse. I have no idea. I haven't been high in years, but, cause I don't know about you, but like I have OCD and I talk about it pretty often because as a content creator, it fucks with you. So like,
oh, it makes it worse.
It makes it way worse. So it's like, you know, I feel it is not a compulsion necessarily as much as it is an innate desire. Like it is an obsession. I guess maybe it is a compulsion to content create every single day, every day, every free moment I have. I'm thinking of things I can make or I can do, or I can put together. That is literally every waking moment of my life, unless I'm watching a movie or I'm playing games, right? Like even when I'm with my kids, I'm still like thinking in the back of my mind, okay, so we're hanging out, we get home, I can do some true crime stuff, I can cover some movie stuff, I can do this, I can do that. That's the thing, like that's probably like the biggest like hurdle for me at the moment is just trying to get past that. Like it's just bad. Someone recommended like you could take some pills for that, but I don't want to take any more pills. I just don't know how the fuck to get rid of it, you know? So that's the problem with this shit is like, it can get into your brain, you know? Let's see here. Roman says here, just don't shut yourself down from overwhelming yourself. I mean, I would love to not overwhelm myself, but it's literally like, you know, like I got to I'm 100% true. So like I drop my kids off at school and then I have about a half hour to the library open. So I hang out, like I'll go get maybe some breakfast or I'll go to the store or whatever. And then like when I'm back in the car, I'm like watching like vidIQ videos about YouTube shorts or like where the algorithm is or like creator insider stuff. Like I'm just learning because I feel like I have to be in the know for what's going on. It's crazy, dude. Like it's crazy how fucking nuts this shit can be on you. So that's the thing. People tell me all the time, oh, I want to do YouTube. And I'm like, watch the compulsion. This shit will fuck with you, you know? But I understand like it's the perfectionism that I've got. That's a big part of it is perfectionism. And the reason why I kind of want to touch upon that a little bit is talking about the Lord of the Rings show, you know, where we have this really big thing today where I know it's kind of a weird segue, but according to the Hollywood Reporter, they've got this whole piece here about how the Rings of Power showrunners break silence on Backlash, Sauron in season 2. I mean, this is a big deal. You know, like this is a huge show that has had so much misinformation about it put out there, but it still effectively has the pressure of being perfect. Whether or not it lives up to that is something that we're still trying to figure out as time goes on. But as soon as this show was announced, they had that put upon them. Have you ever did you ever like think about it from that perspective?
Yeah, I mean, like I knew going into this when it was announced, I knew that it was going to be really heavily criticized for even the littlest things, because that's just Tolkien fans. They're very, very particular with the content that they get. And there's Tolkien fans, there's Peter Jackson fans. It's a wild thing. It's like, I think the show is doing really well with both those aspects, but it's just, you know, it makes it hard when the fan base is so uber critical about the lore and their everything else, every aspect of the show.
Well, and again, what cracks me up the most about that has everything to do with the fact that when you look at it, you're like, you know, the people now that you're right, there's like the Tolkien lore fans, there's the Jackson fans, and you figure the Jackson fans would be like all over this. You know what I mean? Like, and if you look at the Balrog design, it looks like Peter Jackson's Balrog. So so you're like, okay, like it just, there's some continuity there. They maybe they worked something out, or they were able to just kind of play with it however they wanted to play with it. We don't quite know. But I find it to be fascinating that it's like Peter Jackson fans. I literally saw somebody attacking the show the other day and like using the hashtag respect Peter Jackson. And I'm like, you know, he changed like the movies pretty heavily. Like he changed the story.
Yeah. Like
in the adaptation, like even the Hobbit, you know, fucking, you know, there's
characters,
added characters. Yeah.
Is not even in the books.
Added a villain, added a love interest character that didn't exist before, made it like a multi, you know, like a multiracial thing, right? Or like interracial relationship or interspecies relationship, which is very much like right? And again, nothing wrong with that. I thought I thought the love story was great.
Interracial, yeah, because they do, like, they keep saying like the elf race and stuff like that in Rings of Power. So I think it would be considered interracial.
Yeah, it would have been interspecies. Well, I mean, I don't know. Either way, interracial is a good name for it. Yeah. I always found it to be kind of funny, just because, you know, it's like, okay, like, yeah, it just shows you people from different, you know, different sides of the world can do that. H Barts here says, I'm glad they're taking time with season 2. We don't need Marvel CG. Here's the thing with that though. What they say in this was contradicted yesterday by the head of Amazon coming out and saying that we're already well into season 2. Right. Season 2 is going to come faster. And the reason why is because they've already, again, this is what happens with television. You build out the world, you build out your sets, you build out where things are going to be. That's where a lot of the upfront costs come from. Later on, it doesn't cost as much because those have been, you know, you've already established the sets. You've already built all that stuff. So that's why they're already working on it for this one. Oh, by the way, Chirpy, what the hell? I told you guys not safe for work. At the end of last night, I posted a link in the chat for an animated short that was banned across some stuff way back in the day. And it's called Chirpy. If you look it up, it's so bad.
I will not.
It's Shiny here says, I was looking for Chirpy, could find it or couldn't find it. I got to find it again, but Chirpy is very much special.
I did not like the way your eyes went from left to right and you paused there. I
don't want to tell you what happens in Chirpy. I just want you to watch fucking Chirpy.
All right. All right. Here we go.
You gotta, dude. Here's the thing for you guys who saw it. I saw that back in 2006 at the Spike and Mike Sick and Twisted Film Festival. We got there. We were working with 2 local radio DJs who were trying to start a web show. We actually went there to interview Weird Al Yankovic. So I got to meet Weird Al that night, which was really cool. But we also got in for free to the Sick and Twisted Film Festival. And since we had time to kill, we went and we watched a whole bunch of shorts. And one of the ones we watched was fucking Chirpy.
Oh, no.
So we're sitting there. We're just What is this? Because, you've heard about Spike and Mike Sick and Twisted, and this is definitely Spike and Mike Sick and Twisted. So, I'm
watching it on Vimeo right now. No,
post that in the, you're a mod, right? Are you a mod on the channel? Okay, post it in the private chat. I'll link it because Geek Studios here wants to see it.
This has to be the link because the
link I found was unlisted. I didn't know what it was when I clicked on it last night. I just saw that it was unlisted. All right, guys, there you go. There's a link in the chat right there. For anyone watching on the replay, there you can just copy that direct link and watch a very twisted and very sick animated short film from 20 years ago that will make you very much.
What is going on? There's so loud rock music and like a thing.
Yeah,
that's a horse.
We're not. Butt Toucher says, "Not my proudest tug."
I don't know what I just saw, but
dude, holy shit! Oh my god,
that is. I'm not even done. I've just been.
Yeah. Sorry, that was just classic.
Now there's here. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna share you my screen. Do not share it. I just want you to see what I'm seeing and just.
I've seen Chirpy. Yeah. I know what you're looking at. I've seen. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen Chirpy. I've seen it a couple times.
Not okay.
Yes. It's not.
This is not okay. Like it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning for me, and I'm seeing a bird.
Dude, you
round objects
were born after the birth of the internet, meaning you missed out on a ton of shit.
Yes, I did.
If you think that crap nowadays is fascinating, oh my god. But all right, let's get into the Lord of the Rings article here, because I just kind of want to cover a bit of it here. All right, so they say here, the large windowless room centerpiece is a lengthy conference table, but your eyes are immediately transfixed by what's covering the walls. You're surrounded by concept art laying out major set pieces for Lord of the Rings of Power Season 2. Showrunners McKay and J.D. Payne give a walkthrough of the sequence. They plan to introduce more iconic locations, familiar Middle-earth characters, and a massive two-episode battle. These shows are an hour plus a piece, dude. All right. Here's the thing with that, by the way. They said there was a whole battle for Winterfell, right? The extended episode that people still thought was too fucking fast. 2-part episode. There's people speculating about what this is going to be, this massive battle that's going to happen, but they are clearly going to get into it here. So I'm excited for that. Let's keep going. All right, so it says, since Amazon's billion-dollar high fantasy launched in September 2nd, The Rings of Power has been blessed with some strong critical acclaim, 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. Dragged by online fan bashing, its audience score is 39%, which includes an unknown degree of review bombing at the hands of internet trolls, which is very true. The show's Nielsen viewership is formidable. The first 2 episodes were seen by roughly 12.6 million U.S. viewers across its first 4 days. Just what they have in for the Nielsen, never mind people watching from their computers or other devices. It says here, but given that this is Lord of the Rings, the bar is insanely high. Nobody knows the stakes better than Payne and McKay. They're 2 first-time showrunners who embarked on an unexpected journey. Ooh, that's a good pun. That's a good one right there. That's a callback. An unexpected journey.
Oh, ooh. The Hobbit. Oh my goodness.
Oh, the Hobbit reference. Oh. They've now found. They said, okay, sorry. To make their J.R.R. Tolkien passion project, and now found themselves, as McKay puts it, on the fault line of the culture war, which is fucking ridiculous, right? With everybody from armies of anonymous Tolkien fans to the 2 richest men in the world weighing in, it isn't easy to focus on writing scripts and managing a cast and crew of 1,300. on the most complicated TV production of all time when Elon Musk is slagging you on Twitter. Look, Elon Musk slagging them on Twitter is just a deflection tactic because of the shit he finds himself in right now. He basically has been kind of like, I want to say kind of bullied into buying Twitter for $44 billion. So, he was...
He's just using his platform that he's forced to buy just to shit on people.
Yeah. Here's the thing with that. I hope he verifies everybody, and then I can finally leave Twitter. I'll be happy with that. So they say some of what's been hardest to hear is the cynical point of view about this is a cash grab. McKay says it's like, oh my God, it's the opposite. This is the most earnest production. This is not a paycheck job for anybody. This is a labor of love. I mean, there's definitely a paycheck involved, but the money goes into the production, probably more than the talent. The call from the lawyers came into Amazon on a Friday in 2017. The Tolkien estate was going to entertain proposals for a Lord of the Rings show. Prime Video, along with every other entertainment company, was looking for the next Game of Thrones. Amazon's founder and chairman Jeff Bezos was a longtime Tolkien fan. Going after the Lord of the Rings was a no-brainer, and an internal fellowship was assembled to figure out how to beat other prospective bidders. What you have to remember about when this happened 5 years ago is Bezos wanted something that could rival and potentially take over Game of Thrones. He wanted something like this that would bolster Amazon Prime. At the time, Amazon Prime was doing their like pilot project. Do you remember that one at all? Jimbo, do you know what that is?
No.
So the long and short of that essentially is the pilot project was they would finance a series of pilots. Like one of them was a Zombieland TV show. Their first pilot group, the first amount of projects came out from that. One of them was Zombieland, the TV show, put together by Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese, the guys who wrote and created the series. And it was a funny pilot. I enjoyed it. It was very self-aware because Zombieland itself was ultimately created as a television show before being adapted into a movie. But it never went past the pilot. Amazon didn't pick it up, but The Tick was one that did go to pilot and did get picked up. There were other ones as well. They were doing a lot of adaptations of like, of F. Scott Fitzgerald books, and they were really playing up like a lot of the kind of, I think they were trying to capture like the Downton Abbey-esque audience, but they were not getting that like young male demographic that's like hungry for these kind of stories, these high fantasy stories. And, but then ever since kind of getting in with The Expanse and doing that, they've been kind of playing into that kind of stuff, like, The Boys, Invincible, now Lord of the Rings, The Terminalist. They are starting to hone in on what they know their fans are going to want. And that is always something very interesting. Yes, I know you guys are all haunted by Chirpy. If I'm laughing like that and I recommend something like that, but I tell you it's horrible, it's on you.
He's a dick. Don't listen to him. He's a dick. I'm hiding in the corner. I just took the mic off the stand. I'm hiding.
You're a little. Are you a little upset?
A little bit.
Good. I'll show you something worse later. All right. Sources.
What? No.
I have a long memory, my friend. I've been around for a long time. Sources say HBO pitched the estate on retelling Middle-earth's Third Age, essentially remaking Peter Jackson's beloved Lord of the Rings trilogy, which grossed $3 billion and won 17 Oscars. Now, the thing with that is we've talked about that, I think, before, how HBO Max would have probably wanted to like, and this is before HBO Max was a thing, but how HBO would have probably wanted to like adapt it in order to then stretch it out over time. And I say that they should do the same with Harry Potter, is give us a television adaptation of the 7 books versus just the 8 movies. However, let's see, the estate has its gripes with Jackson's adaptations. The late Christopher Tolkien, the author's son, said they eviscerated the books, but wasn't interested in treading the same ground. Netflix pitched doing several shows, such as a Gandalf series and an Aragorn drama. They took the Marvel approach, said one insider, and that completely freaked out the estate. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm okay if they would have gone that approach, because that kind of cinematic universe has been attempted, or I should say discussed by multiple different outlets, but it's never, ever, ever really gone full force outside of a couple things. And I think if they would have been like a Gandalf series, an Aragorn series, you know, like if they would have built it up and been able to build into this kind of stuff, build into this kind of story, kind of like what Mandalorian is doing right now, leading into the whole Heir to the Empire trilogy, which is what we expect is going to happen, or the CW going into Crisis on Infinite Earths, albeit with a higher production value. That might have been what they're going for. It would have been interesting. It would have been very interesting to see. Taylor, Dr. Tran is another one who's fantastic. Not as bad as Chirpy, by the way, but Dr. Tran videos are definitely GOAT. Love those things. Saw those at Spike and Mike too, by the way. All right. Anyway, so Amazon's negotiation team wooed the estate, not with a specific pitch, but with a pledge of a close relationship that would give the estate a creative seat at the table so it could protect the legacy. There was also, of course, the money. Sources say that the staggering number that's been widely reported, $250 million, was actually Netflix's bid, and that Amazon's number was tens of millions less, albeit still staggering. So what you're telling me here is that for 5 years, we've been operating under the idea that they paid $250 million for the rights to this, and yet they paid tens of millions less, and the $250 million bid was Netflix? And that's crazy, dude. That is crazy. So in Amazon Studios TV co-head Vernon Sanders says it was our collective passion and fidelity to Tolkien that really won the day. Okay, I mean, like, they've been I think winning over a lot of fans, right? They've been winning over a lot of fans, and there is that. Let's see here. Mad Max is live again right now? Of course he is. We're going to talk about Cavill here in a few, but I don't know about the Batman Gate thing. If you could send me that info, take a look. And then, I know about Nick Rekieta. New Adpocalypse, that's nothing to do with the Adpocalypse. That's an entirely different thing. And we're not jumping into that right now. But again, my camera may not last much longer, just as an FYI. So, all right, going in here, it says, when Payne 42 and McKay 41 heard from the reps that Rings was coming to TV, McCain says a shiver ran through us. The duo first met in high school. All right, we don't need all this stuff. All right, so you know what? This is super fucking long. All right, I don't want to go through the whole thing because it's super long. But the key takeaways obviously were the different pitches. Netflix wanted a Marvel style. HBO just wanted to remake Lord of the Rings, and Amazon's like, we'll work with you and give you a creative seat at the table. And I think at the end of the day, the Tolkien estate, to me, that's kind of what I feel like they really, really, really want to do. You know what I mean with that, Jimbo? Where it's like, if you look at like how they said, like, Christopher Tolkien said that the Peter Jackson movies eviscerated the books. And a lot of people kind of believe that, but they still like the movies. I think you can look at them separately, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're not accurate, but they're entertaining. That's the way I kind of discuss it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely like speaking of like doing like the Marvel thing, I'm actually happy with what they're doing now because Netflix was like, oh yeah, we're just going to take the same time period that we've relatively seen and just kind of draw it out more and flesh it out a little bit more, which I like what Amazon is doing, and they're touching an age that hasn't been theatrically or live action touched, and we get a whole new world basically to explore in time period.
Yeah, it's really fascinating to see what exactly is going to be going on with all that. And I feel that you're right. What you've got is a situation where they pitched this show, this idea with the idea of staying in collaboration, which actually is, believe it or not, in line with Tolkien's ideas for the books about multiple groups of people who probably don't like each other coming together for a common goal, right? And that obviously is what this show is putting together, which is something I really appreciate about it. And I think that this is one of those things where they have definitely been proving the haters wrong, and that's going to be good. I think by the time season 2 rolls around, you're not going to get a lot of people actively shitting on the show. I think the people who maybe don't like it are not going to watch it. But then you're going to get your people like Angry Joe, that it's like, this is how I make my money sort of thing. And never mind like Nerdrotic and never mind all those other guys and stuff. Roman numerals here with a $4.99 super sticker. Thank you so much, buddy. Really appreciate that. Shiny here says pin the video. I think you guys are talking about Chirpy. Have you been watching the chat as they've been watching Chirpy as we've been talking, and then they've been coming back? It's like I'm seeing like my childhood innocence is lost. You have damned me for eternity. Damn you, Jarbo. What have you done? I was innocent until this. How
Wow, look at you taking so many innocent people's innocence away.
Welcome to my hell. It's Ryan Hartwell here just simply says, I've seen worse. Yeah.
I'm reading the chat now that you mentioned it. Well, I just watched Chirpy. Whatever innocence I had left has been completely eradicated.
This is what happens, my friends. This is what happens when you come to Hollywood After Dark. I destroy you. And then I rebuild you in my image. If you listen to people like Zeverfed, apparently I bring in RJ to, like, I don't know, like corrupt people.
Yeah, you corrupted RJ. Why do you think he had to retire? Because he became so corrupted that he physically wasn't able to stream like he used to. He just copies Matt's style. And I think he kind of is turning into Matt a little bit, so it's kind of bad. So
for
reasons he had to retire for a little bit, but once he kind of gets away from Hawaii,
he'll come back.
Exactly.
They always come back. But they always come back, Jimbo. Nah, it's all good. I just find it funny when people think like I'm just this gigantically like terrible fucking person. I don't know. I'm really not. I'm just an asshole. There's a difference there. Anyway, let's see. Zeverfet will claim you are grooming us with Chirpy. Shiny though, but you are an adult. How can I groom you? You're an adult. I know you're an adult. Anyway. All right. Jay here says Max is somewhat believing it right now live. I kind of feel like we should tune into what Max is saying. If he's
we kind of talked about it. I know he's gonna do like an independent thing covering it. That's pretty much what he's doing. He's pretty much just gonna rehash what we talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? I mean, Matt might as well.
Let's see. I don't know what he's I don't know. He's talking. Yeah, he's talking to Zeno right now. I don't really feel like dealing with that shit. All right. Well, I wasn't gonna. Two quick little things, and then we can jump into the Superman thing here. So we did get a little bit of information today about Spawn. Right. We heard that there was going to be an announcement today of some kind. What we found out was that the Scott Silver, Malcolm Spellman, and Matthew Mixam are writing the script for Spawn. It's still starring Jamie Foxx. So with any luck, we'll get more info on that. Like they'll start filming it. Hopefully in 2023, get it together. I would love to see another Spawn. And that's pretty good on that one there. And then of course, did you hear the thing today? I know you saw probably Caden tweeting about it in the DM group, but there was a whole thing about Jason Blum, right? Jason Blum's like, I'm gonna break the internet today. Sorry, Jason, you were kind of thwarted, not your own fault. But we found out today that Jim Henson's Creature Shop is confirmed to be working on the animatronics for Blum's house, Five Nights at Freddy's, and they have got a director. They start filming it in 2023. And so that to me that's good. We've been waiting on this movie for a long time. I'm not big into FNAF, right? Like I'm not.
The games are fun. The original game I played, I enjoy that, but it just what has turned into is so cringy, and the fans for it just like it's a furry's dream. That's pretty much what this has turned into. Like, have you even kind of seen some of the way people react and kind of do?
No, but I'm going to, against my own better judgment right now, Google Five Nights at Freddy's Rule 34.
Oh no.
And I'm going against it here. Ryan says Rule 34. Yeah, I was Googling that as well. I haven't seen this. I'm not going to show it on screen.
Brand new game, Security Breach. It just made it worse because there's actual different endings you can get, and it just made people it just made people's minds and dirty thoughts explode, and I do not like it at all. It hurts my brain.
What the fuck am I looking at? Oh my god. Yo, I think I found like the real life interpretation of Chirpy.
Guess what, guys? We got him. We got him back.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Wait, stop. We're taking Soups. We have to actually give Soups credit because we said let's go. That's his line. Okay.
That's right. It's his line. Yeah. It's his line. We can't you know, there you go on that one. It's that was some shit, dude. I have no idea what I'm looking at on that. It's just this one. It's like the chicken one. She's got giant. She looks like a fertility god statue with like gigantic boobs and gigantic pierced nipples, and then it's just like sugar coated with cum. Is what it looks like.
Why did you? The way you described that, I can perfectly envision.
Yeah, you're like, is that like, glaze? How did that get there?
Why does it look like a donut from Krispy Kreme?
Just at the end, yeah.
No, but I just want to make a quick mention. I like how I see in the corner John Williams and then Henry Cavill trending. But oh god,
yeah, I know. We'll get to that there. I thought Ryan here is like, that sounds like Chica. Ryan, is your search history a little on the sus side, sir? What you looking at, Ryan?
You dirty bastard, you.
Zachary says here, never mention Chirpy again. We gonna fight if you ever come to Buffalo. Oh man, you don't even know. Meta here says, damn it, Matt, I was eating.
I mean, so was Chirpy.
What, a donut?
I mean,
you know, you want to know, like, okay. You guys all know what a cream pie is, right? No, it's an honest question. Right? I'm going to ruin a movie for you, but it's an honest question.
Oh God.
Okay. All right. Hold on. So, if you, I'll tell you guys. So you guys all know what a cream pie is. All right. I can't find the actual thing. All right. Geeks here says, I know what that is. Ralph Double Tits says, explain. Tails here says, yes, we all watch porn. Okay. So Meta here says, oh my God, please no. So if you want to know the greatest cream pie joke ever in a movie that went over everybody's heads and it's been over 30 years, go and watch the scene from Ghostbusters 2 when they slime the inside of the Statue of Liberty. It's a cream pie reference.
I mean,
go look at it. It's like it is white sticky goo, and they're just making her happy. Then they play a good tune.
It's called Ghostbusters,
right? But they play they play, you know, a nice jam, right? You got to turn the radio up when you're going to be filling up your lady, you know, got to get her feeling it, got to get her moving. And then from there, Charvo is just a porno addict. I'm not a porn addict.
Filling up.
I'm a porn connoisseur. There's a difference.
Yeah. He sees
there's a difference.
Art,
I know
pleasure. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like looking at a James or like a Jan van Eyck painting. All right. It's like, or sorry, Jan van Eyck.
I mean, it's not like, look, I don't subscribe to the Jackson Pollock approach to that kind of shit. I don't like it to go everywhere. It's not, it's a biohazard.
The way she flexes. Oh my God.
Yeah. There we go. Bustin' makes me feel good. Dan Aykroyd is a dirty motherfucker. Make no mistake about that. Zachary here asking, what's my favorite porn? That's like asking, I can't tell you. I don't know their names. That's like, can you tell me anything you've ever watched? Can you ever remember the name?
Star? I think he's asking what's your like favorite category or like what's your preference?
Actually, I have one. I'm not going to go into detail on it because that's personal. Jesus, you guys, come on.
Hey,
what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
With Chirpy tonight, you owe us this, okay? We had to see.
There's a Katie. Okay, there's a Katie Morgan. There's a Katie Morgan scene. It's a whole stepmom thing. I like it. So that's all it is. It's Katie Morgan. It's like her in a flower top or whatever. I don't know the name of it. It's just, you know, one of those ones you're like, okay, I like this one. There you go. Yes, going back to this here, Tales from the Hood series says that Dan Aykroyd's character got a blowjob from a ghost in the first Ghostbusters. That's right, he did. So those shows are very much very much dirty, dirty, dirty. Shiny here says, I remember watching some called Raw Raw Girls and a Dream Come True. Zachary here says, everything in the chat now, it's your fucking fault. This is my fucking show. This is my fucking show. Of course it's my fault.
Dark.
This is, this isn't like, fucking Church Girl Sunday or whatever the fuck it is. I'm not up here preaching about the Lord, right? Like, I'm here telling you guys dirty jokes and showing you guys dirty videos. It's just
Hail the priest, I ain't showing up on Sunday because I have too many sins to repent.
It's my audience is clearly the 25 through 45 audience, and I'm okay with that. What's funny is when you get some of the older people coming on in that really can't handle any kind of dirty talk, and they you can see it in the chat. They'll be like,
no,
I'm just here to talk about the movies. Why are you bringing up blacked.com? And it's like, because it's a funny reference, and you know what, like, whatever. This show is like, it's very there. Let's see. Did I see your? Oh, you're talking to Meta. Anyway, I was getting the super chats there, and then we'll get to there. Ryan here says, have you seen Criterion Collection's 80s horrors teaser trailer? I haven't, but thankfully Ryan did send me the YouTube trailer. We'll take a quick look at that.
I think I did see this. I'm not sure.
I haven't. This came out a couple days ago. I haven't seen it. But I do like 80s horror, and I think those are always a lot of fun. Here, we'll check this one out. So this is...
Oh, never mind. I was thinking about something else.
You are receiving this broadcast from all the answers, but this is not a dream.
I feel like something's gonna happen. And if I scratch the surface, there'll be something terrible underneath.
I guess a career in the police didn't really prepare you for this, did it?
Hi.
What the fuck?
Diana, wake up!
That was...
Oh. Nice.
I hear you're having trouble with a snake.
Nice. I've seen a lot of these. The Criterion channel.
I haven't seen a lot of those, but I am generally interested. Like, horror is my thing. I love horror, and so any little bit of it, I like always have to investigate, because like I've seen so many horror movies, good and bad, that it's very hard for me to find like an actual good horror movie that's like, kind of gets me like little okay, this is freaky, and also have a good story. So like I gotta check out some of these classics here.
Well, I like horror in many ways because of how you never know what you're gonna get. Like, you kind of always know to an extent like what you're gonna get, but if it's done in a unique and interesting way, it can stay with you. Like, I remember like there was one I saw when I was a kid called Dolls, and it scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I rewatched it again a while back, and I was laughing my ass off all the way through it because it's just not scary. But I still like the aesthetic of it and what they went for. It's like this family breaks down outside of this old home, and inside the house, there's a whole bunch of these like toy dolls, and they come to life and they kill people, So it's a fun little movie.
That's also one missed call for me. I watched them, like, that movie has to be like really early 2000s. I remember like, oh no, I think it was like there's one missed call, and then like Lady in the Water by Guillermo del Toro or something like that. It was like just like the trailer, like the looks of it freaked me out. And it wasn't even like supposed to be like a horror movie. Just to me, just like the trailer and stuff like that like seemed freaky, and I was like a child, so.
No, there's a lot of there's movies that like I remember when I saw Child's Play 2 when I was a kid for the first time.
That movie's actually kind of fucked.
Well, I was visiting my dad, who lived in a small town called Snoqualmie. It's outside of Seattle by like 15 miles. And this is before they developed it. This was still when it was like very much just like a nothing town. Now it's totally different. But back then, there was like one video store in town. And when I went to go visit him, I would just walk down to the video store. This, of course, was like the early 90s when, you know, your parents wouldn't care if you're gone in the middle of the day, just come home before dark sort of thing. So I'd walk down there and they were showing Child's Play 2 in the video store. And I just watched like some of it where like some people got killed and it just fucked with me. It gave me nightmares. And when I finally got around to watching the movie, couple years later, I was like, that's fucking freaky. But then I watched Child's Play 3 and like I was laughing my ass off at it. Not like in a bad way, because I love the Child's Play movies, you know, because like they start off really scary and then they get really campy as time goes on. But like, and I'm fine with that. But
Yeah,
like, you know, you
like
just
the Bride of Chucky, like that's when it turns more comedy, less horror.
I saw Bride of Chucky in theaters, dude, back in the day, back in the late 90s.
I did not know that was like Chris. Is that like Katherine Heigl or Kristen Heigl? Like what's her name?
Katherine Heigl. I think it's Katherine Heigl. Yeah, and
like
like John Ritter is in it before he died. John fucking Ritter. Like, what's John Ritter doing here?
Yeah, I think he was in. I think that was Seed of Chucky. He was in. I don't think he was in Bride.
No, he was in Bride of Chucky because he was a cop who gets killed with like the nails and like like the
I'm thinking
airbag,
Waters.
the airbag explosion.
John Waters, who's I think it's
okay.
Yeah, so it's
and then
different.
like
Katherine Heigl.
Bride of Chucky was fun though. Bride of Chucky was
her
fun.
first. That was like her first thing. So that's insane.
No, like, Katherine Heigl had actually been in a couple things before then. She was in a movie called Wish Upon a Star with Danielle Harris, who was the one who starred in Halloween 4 and 5. And
I love
the remake.
Those. I love the Halloweens. Like she like 4 and 5. Like just the story and like the emotion that she brought to it. It's just because of like the acting and the story, it made it like one of my favorite Halloween films. But yeah, See,
this is what I'm talking about. When we talk about horror movies and how it ties into the Halloween time of year, we're all excited about it. When do you talk about a Christmas movie like that?
I never, because I mean that's like I get it, but it's like Christmas, like the reason why it's just more profitable. Halloween's profitable, but like if Halloween was as profitable as Christmas, I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
It's I mean, comes down to that.
That's right. Heigl was also in Under Siege 2 Dark Territory, Die Hard in a Train.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, yes, Meta. Die Hard is the best Christmas movie. It is.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Get it right.
Is that a Christmas movie or is it a Halloween movie?
It's both.
I know it's themed around Christmas, but it takes most of the time takes place in Halloween Town, dealing with Halloweeny things.
That is, you know, it's kind of like both. All right, it's both. It's like it crosses both realms, and
The Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown is a fantastic movie. You know, Taylor here says, simple. We need better Christmas movies. Did you not watch the Violent Night trailer we showed earlier?
Dude, that's peak.
That's peak Christmas, man. Harper's gonna save Christmas, man. Christmas ween time. That just sounds very dirty, very very dirty. But all right here. So, let's see. Spherical Commander says Nightmare Before Christmas sucks. The only good character is Oogie Boogie. It is. I like it, but it definitely like has its problems with characterizations. I feel like there are times where I'll watch Nightmare Before Christmas and I'm just kind of like not into it. But then there's times where I'm super into it, and it's. But I still love the opening of that movie. The opening
Coraline.
Coraline is the shit,
dude. That's what I associate that, which is like when I was younger, like freaked out, like I ain't seeing that shit. But now I associate with my ex-girlfriend who repeatedly nonstop would like make me watch that film, but she would always like fall asleep during it. So I would just be sitting there, I'm like watching this film, I'm like, okay, this is so fucking boring. I look over and she's like passed out sleeping because we would always watch it later in the night, and I'm just like, it's like the fourth time you've said and made me watch this film, and you haven't stayed awake the whole time. This is like torture at this point. So that's why I associate that movie with. But yeah, it's. I still think my favorite Tim Burton has to be like in that realm of like Halloween, Corpse Bride. Like it's for like I have had so many mixed emotions and feelings about that movie. It's kind of wild, but
I just watched it again recently, and it was okay. It was okay. Like it's good but it's short. It's very short. It's under 80 minutes. It's a very short animated movie. It was done by Leica before. This is kind of what I think put Leica on the map. Of course, they also did Coraline a couple years later with Henry Selick directing that one. A lot of good stuff there. I do enjoy Paranorman quite a bit. I like how it kind of subverts some tropes and stuff. There's a Paranorman's fun. It's on Netflix. You can check it. I think Box Trolls is also on there. That's a fun one too.
Both of those were like during my childhood, and like I would always see
that would make sense because Box Trolls just turned 8.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm 21.
So that would have put you at 13. So that would be right around the time. Yeah.
Like that's like the thing. Like
God damn, dude. You're like, I was 13 when that came out, and I'm like, God, I was 9. That was 95 for me. Like I'm watching Mortal Kombat when that thing dropped in 95.
Yeah,
like
I wasn't even a thought in my father's ball sack at that point. Like
you weren't even a chromosome in your dad's ball sack because your dad's balls hadn't even probably dropped yet by the time I was 13.
No. He was born in 1970. So yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, he was fucking by then. So he would have been 25. Well, he's not 25. It's a fucking age.
Yeah, I know my dad's older than my mom by a couple years. I mean, I think he's like 53 or 4 now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we got Casper in 95. You've also got Space Jam in 95. There's a lot of that. Crime Corgi here says Henry Cavill and Black Adam will lead to Man of Steel 2. Where is that even coming from?
Is that from Geekosity or like?
I don't know. Again, who knows? This stuff is coming out tonight,
and it's really annoying the shit on me. Like I saw, I'm gonna shout. Like I saw Prime, Prime the Godfather, on Twitter make a post about like a special screening or something like family in Mexico, and it shows like images of Henry Cavill and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, this has to be cap. And now I'm just seeing so much shit. It's like wildfire from Game of Thrones. One little like flick or spark, and it just engulfs the whole thing. It's like. Now it's like confirmed or something like that. Like I have no idea. Like I there has to be something, dude.
Well, I'm asking. So, viewer Anon is currently on social media, and I'm asking him if he knows anything about it. He's all like, "The Chucky season 2 premiere was really good." I'm like, "Any news on Cavill?"
I think he did post.
Not about that right now. He hasn't posted anything really about that, but hopefully he'll say something about it because. So here's what we know. All I know is while I was watching Hocus Pocus, Caden goes in the DM group and just says Cavill's back confirmed. And I'm like, where's the source on that? And he didn't respond. And Caden usually can point to something. But he didn't really respond on that one. And so again, it's not like I'm saying that I don't believe him. But that's really about it. It's just like he says some press got to see it and they had Cavill in the post credit. Now, this is a week before the premiere and I think LA, whatever the one is, the 12th, right? For Black Adam. So it definitely says that there's going to be a lot of people going to be seeing it. News is going to start coming out. So if they went to a press screening first, and they drop this information and it's getting out there in that way. And here's the thing. Here's how you know it's going to be real. If the marketing starts pushing it. If the marketing is very subtle in regards to what they say, right? If they start saying some shit, has Big Screen Leaks or Casey mentioned it? I haven't seen Casey mostly because I unfollowed him a while back. And I say Casey Walsh. I like Casey well enough. My big thing with Casey is just that not everything is a fight to the end of fucking time, dude. So Big Screen Leaks hasn't posted anything about it. Let's see here. Soups is apparently saying something, but then again, like, look, Soups is saying something as it was coming out. So you can't, so people are going to take that and they're going to be like, because he says here, Black Adam is about to revive the DCEU, October 21st. We will celebrate. But again, that's not him breaking a story.
It's just him reacting.
That's him reacting, which is all he does.
Everyone, no, that's like I just went on TikTok and I saw another thing of like people who do that same type of content as Soup. They're literally just all reacting to it. And that's like I said, it's a wildfire. One little spark of this Henry Cavill stuff, and now it's just running rampant. And it's like, if it is confirmed as in the movie, that'll be great, but no one will be surprised. But if he is in the movie, everyone's gonna be, so it'll be one of the biggest clickbait in DCU history. Because
but at this point, like I said, if they figure out a way. If they can figure out a way to do it, then that's really good. I'm looking on Big Screen Leaks right now. Haven't seen anything about it, buddy. So I'll check KC real quick. KC probably would say something about it. Although KC has been kind of hinting at it for a while. But quite frankly, let's see here. All right. So what did he say? All right. Well, nothing. I mean, hold on. Okay, so he's talking about it a little bit here, but he's mostly calling out people that are. He's mostly calling out people that are talking about it, or that were the grifters type stuff, right? So, all right. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything like this that's a confirmation, but that anything could happen there.
I'm just gonna Trace makes a long video about it. It's like, well, guys, guess what?
Sorry. Big Screen Leaks liked a post talking about it. And it's just someone else talking about it, saying pretty fantastic to see a lot of people spoiling Black Adam on the timeline, hinting or just straight up revealing. And I'm not one to care with this film, but I know many people that do care. And he's liking that. Maybe that's not indicative of him liking what was being said. That's indicative of him calling out like people that are spoiling it. Now, the reason why I put it in the thumbnail is because fuck it. People need to know. At this point, people need to fucking know. That's my take on it. And I don't make any apologies for that. At this point, people need to fucking know. If you are looking forward, if you have any stake in this game, if you are a DC fan, a DCEU fan, a Superman fan, or a Black Adam fan, whatever, and you want to know where things are because there's been zero communication from the company about where things are going. Zero. It has divided the fans. It has made people viciously toxic and mean. Fuck it. You need to know. You need. So yeah, Max has got a thing saying Superman confirmed. He can't. I'm saying confirmed ? 3 times. All right. We don't know. We just don't know if it's the case yet. Is it likely? Probably. But I can bring up here. This is the, there's a mega thread about this over on, what's it called? On the, Reddit, right? On the subreddit here. Superman Returns, Henry Cavill, Black Adam, mega thread. We can talk about this. But I mean, my point about this though, is that look, the company has not said shit. Fans at this point, and I don't like toxic fandom. I don't like entitled fans, but I do feel that they need to know these things because this is something that's going to benefit them by knowing that they're going to get what they want going in rather than to think they're going to get something and potentially be disappointed. The last thing you want is a disappointed fan. Now, Lord's like you're asking, will you praise The Rock if this turns out to be true? Yeah, totally. I'll give him credit. I have said from the beginning that this marketing on this movie has not been good. There is no culture. There's no conversation about this movie outside of whether or not Henry Cavill is in it. I've been, again, heavily critical of it because I feel just like Ghostbusters from 2016, it's kind of running itself into the goddamn ground. So let's see here. Nick Winstead says Flash has been picture locked, just touching. Y'all get Sasha Supergirl and Keaton Batman. I mean, yeah, that's the thing as well. They're going to do that. So, all right. We are getting closer to my camera dying. I can see the battery light starting to go, but it says here, okay. According to this person here from 4 hours ago. So we see the Soups comment was from 4 hours ago. These posts are from 4 hours ago. So we can start to see that there's some stuff here. So My Time to Shine Hello is saying that yes, Henry Cavill is back in the classic suit with the Williams score. And he says, we need to talk Black Adam. which is just I'll just say it. That's a god awful line of dialogue.
It's so generic and so it's just like we
but
need
so
to
is
talk, okay?
We need to talk, Black Adam, because I like justice, and you can't go around killing people. I don't know. It just sounds like whatever. But the Williams score, that's a step back in my opinion. That's a step back. I love John Williams. He's my all-time favorite composer. His music will literally bring me to like near tears. That's how much it means to me. We've heard the Williams score before. Go back to Superman Returns, man. Go watch Superman Returns. That score is everywhere. And I know that movie is meant to be a continuation, Superman 2.5 effectively. We know that. But John Ottman, who edited Superman Returns, also composed the score, meaning that he put the John Williams score as in there as much as he possibly could because they were going for the member berries. At this particular point, Henry Cavill has been Superman now for 9 years without the Williams score. He doesn't need, I think that's terrible. I do. I think it's not to say that it's not going to evoke emotion from me. It absolutely is. But I think from just like just the perspective of moving things forward, it is Warner Brothers once again fearful of everything, and they want to hold themselves back. Why is Warner Brothers afraid of the Superman fight theme? Like it's just the Hans Zimmer thing. The thing is ridiculous. Hans Zimmer's got a good line right there, and let it be done. Let it be done. I mean, we're definitely past the score, and it is what it is. Like, look, Indiana Jones 5 will have the Raiders March. Because guess what? It's composed by Williams and it stars Harrison Ford, who has been in all of them. So that's his score. The Superman 78 score is Christopher Reeve's score. It belongs to him. That's his legacy. I'm sorry. Hans Zimmer did an amazing job with Man of Steel's soundtrack, and Junkie XL did a great job with BVS as well as the Snyder Cut. That music is iconic to those particular characters, and it lives in that particular world. By doing it outside of that, that to me is just the most. It's just it. Yeah, I agree with William here. I think it's outsized attachment to nostalgia. It's all member berries and hoping to get people in. That to me is, and again, that's a further removal from Zack Snyder, by the way. That's a further ass removal from.
That's a removal from a lot, because like, why would you take that's one thing. If they're like trying to like basically like give an updated Christopher Reeves type Superman, like wearing the same type costume, having the same theme, that's gonna go poorly, because it's like you're basically just like disrespecting, and like a lot of the fans will think like that's just disrespecting Christopher Reeves by trying to reimagine him in a more current thing with Henry Cavill, who established his own Superman. They're completely different. So it's like,
so real quick here, just because I just want to make this abundantly clear, because you guys know that I like to source as much as I possibly can. If you look at this particular thread, nothing here is confirmed, by the way. It all stems back to My Time to Shine Hello. And I know for a fact that there's a person watching right now. I won't say who, but I know for a fact that there's a person watching right now that likes to make shit up and likes to pretend to be other people and send shit to other people. You know who you are. I ain't going to say shit about it, but I don't know if what they're hearing is true. Because I know that there are people out there that like to troll for fun. And I know because they've tried to do it to me. But since I know what you do, it's very easy to figure out who it is. Just saying. And you know that. So, look, with certain people, I think it's funny. But with other people, given the context, it's not as funny. So there you go. There you go on that one there. Let's see here. Crime Corgi said, "My time to shine." Said no Spider-Man and Morbius. Who said Kenobi was going to die in the TV series. I mean, it is what it is. Matt, be clear of what's going on. Okay, so the best way I can describe it is that this is the mega thread on Reddit, meaning they are compiling the public sources as of right now. We see My Time to Shine, and then we see Casey Walsh, and we see Can We Get Some Toast talking about My Time to Shines. And that's basically about it. And then Big Screen Leaks liking what somebody else is saying about flooding the timeline with the spoilers, which is not indicative of it being a confirmation as much as people believing it might be real and then running with that narrative. There is some person out there that I know is here right now that has been faking it. I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to expose them. But when I talk about the fact that none of this is 100% confirmed, I don't know if this information is coming from that specific person. I'm sure that person would probably tell me if that's the case. And tell me if that's the case. But at the end of the day, you cannot take this information as fucking fact, because if like Collider talked about it, or if Brandon Davis talked about it, people who are in the inner circles. Fuck, dude, if Andy goddamn Signor talks about it, I'll probably put more faith into it because I know who he runs with. That's where we are with this shit right now. This is coming across like, if this feels like it's a marketing thing, that they're trying to push this, if they're trying to push this narrative out right now, I'm wondering how bad ticket sales are. Remember, what report came out yesterday? Yesterday, Hollywood Reporter put out that it's looking at a $65 to $70 million opening weekend, which would make it the highest grossing opening weekend for a Rock starring movie, right? A Rock starring vehicle. And as a result of that, today we find out Henry Cavill's in there. Now, exactly what I've been saying they should do is leak it out that he's in the fucking movie, and that will bolster sales. I've said this multiple times. I stand by my statements on that. And now we're seeing it effectively happen just like that. It's now filtering out. The next step will be, if this is confirmed, the next step will be tomorrow, the Black Adam marketing campaign will say something that kind of teases it. They'll do something that teases either a red cape or an S, or you'll hear the Williams theme, or you'll hear something. And that will be, of course, a great way to put butts in seats. Marvel did this with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness by having the Patrick Stewart cameo in the trailer. The flash of that got people excited for that.
The wheelchair.
Voice. Yeah. And then him saying, well, they can do a lot with digital technology, and him downplaying it, but we see it. So there's that hope that there's that anticipation that's there. Venom 2 did this a year ago. There was the Spider-Man tease that came out of the fan screening. And then all of a sudden Sony's marketing was like, the universe is about to open or about to expand or something like that. Heavily tying into the multiverse concept that was running rampant with No Way Home. So if this is this is a gamble on their part, if this is real or not real. But leak it out in high def. Fuck it, dude. Leak it out in high def. People are still going to go see it on the big screen if they're fans. But yeah, leak it out in high def. Absolutely. So there's all that shit. Anyway, I do think we need confirmation. I think people out there deserve confirmation. I think there's been enough bullshit surrounding T for so fucking long that fans are absolutely entitled to getting some kind of confirmation on this front. As you're just kind of like, again, kind of hurt people. Leak it out in 144p. Fuck it, do that too. I don't care how they do it. Eric here says, wouldn't we just get a THR variety exclusive Henry Cavill returning in Black Adam type breaking news? I mean, that could still happen. But their marketing is going to have to play up the fact that he's in it. Their marketing is going to have to tease beyond a reasonable doubt that he is in this movie. And people will show up for that, I think. But it's really one of those things where, again, like Black Adam may not be pulling in very much. Let me, I'll take a quick look here at my theater to see what's going on with that. We'll see if there's anything there. And then, of course, we'll watch the this Warhammer bit that Command Unit asked us to take a look at. And then, because we are only 5 minutes away from She-Hulk, as that's coming out. So let me take a look here at the 7 p.m. showtimes. The prime showtime for the opening day of Black Adam. And let's see here. It's tracking for, yes, it is tracking for a $70 to $75 million opening weekend. But again, it will only go more. Yeah, fuck, dude. Jesus Christ. So my theater again does get pretty packed on the openings of these things, right? These bigger movie openings, and the fact we've also got no big film release since when was it? Since Bullet Train. Right, that was the last big film opening. That was at the beginning of August. So here, by the way, this is what my theater, the 7 p.m. show right now, 3 tickets are sold. And I think when we looked at it the other night, 3 tickets had also only been shown. That will go up if there are more, if they have a hype behind it.
Listen, if this is confirmed or there's like they tease it with more TV spots and stuff like that, I think that number will skyrocket up, because that's pretty much like it's Superman. It's like the pinnacle of DC is Superman. It's like the most well-known character in DC, and if you bring back that actor and have it in it, it's definitely going to increase sales for sure.
Well, yeah, here's my Edward, who runs Small Screen. You guys put out a video talking about that, saying that Cavill isn't in Black Adam. Do you want to come on really quick and talk more about that? If not, we can schedule the time, but you guys have covered it. So, I mean, I'm curious on that one. If so, let me know. I'll get you in there. But Fourth here says, I don't think the world cares about Superman, only mostly Snyder DCEU fans. I think people care about the character. I don't think they care who the character is, who plays him. You know what I mean? Like, it's just these, there's been so many different people playing Superman over the years that they're more about the character rather than the actor. Like, that's where Marvel has been able to really kind of pull it off in a great way. They brought in the actors, and those actors stayed in those roles for years, establishing themselves as those characters. So will they down the road eventually recast and probably bring them back? Sure. But it's going to take a long time to get there. And that has a lot to do with the fact that there's so many stories that they could tell, and there's so many characters that they could tell these stories with, that they have almost an infinite amount of stories to tell, that they can have these runs with these characters and then not need to go back, because they're already making billions upon billions of dollars with these relatively new characters. And they actually save money by not having to overpay everybody. I'm just saying that could be a thing. Let's see here. William says, no, the world cares about Superman in general, and Cavill is on the MILF rise. I mean, well, it's funny too, by the way. Did you hear about this, Jimbo? Because Benson has been saying all the time, Cavill's Bond, Cavill's Bond, Cavill's Bond. And today the producers came out and said that when they do recast the new Bond, he will be in his 30s. Well, Henry Cavill turns 40 in a few months. So unless they're getting him right at the end there, right at the tail end, it's going to be a thing. So let's see here. Eric Z says, we are still 30 years away from the MCU rebooting. Yeah, we pretty much are. We pretty much are. Zachary here says, watch Superman actually be in Black Adam, but it's not even Cavill. I mean, that's the question. Is it even Cavill?
You're going to get another Shadow Superman?
Is it another Shadow Superman? Do we see his face? That line, we need to talk Black Adam. That's kind of dumb. That's kind of lame. And there goes my camera.
Yeah, it's just going to, yeah. You said Black Adam, and now your screen went black.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's just.
I said it was gonna die. It was gonna fucking die, because that's what happens when I record. Yeah. All right, great. So Edward Louder, let me send him the invite. He just DM'd me on Twitter. Edward's gonna come in. Edward's a good guy. I like him quite a bit. So there's that. All right, I sent him a link. We'll get him on in. see what he has to say about this, because, you know, they do run, they run Small Screen. Small Screen puts out a lot of, you know, sourced articles, and, you know, they take it seriously as compared to other people who maybe don't take it as seriously, in my opinion, but we'll see what he has to say about that. All right. And then, of course, now I guess She-Hulk has premiered. Daredevil is now being re-released to the world. That's always a great thing. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with that. And we're going to get a lot more out of that stuff there. So, yeah, what else is going on? All right. William here says, not being Cavill would be a disappointment, but a new appearance of a Superman would be huge news. I agree with you. I think the big problem with there being we would have to hear about there being a new casting. And if they cast him without actually giving us the announcement and they put somebody new in, I have a feeling certain people are going to fucking riot, to be honest with you. But joining us now all the way from Europe, I feel very special to have him here because he's our international guest. What's going on, Edward? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Literally just woken up.
Oh, yeah. It's fucking, what is it, like not even 8 a.m. over there yet, or what?
Yeah, just about 8 a.m. Yeah, it's a late morning for me. How you doing?
Yeah, man? I'm okay, man. I should be in bed by now, but
yeah, you usually are, yeah.
I'm like winding down the stream because I'm like, I gotta go get some gaming in, and then I can go to bed. But yeah, so you're waking up to this news today, this news of Henry Cavill trending. Mm-hmm. What's your take on that?
I'm like, great. Honestly, like, if he is in the movie, again, I did hear you mentioning that we were told that he's not going to be in it, but it really does depend on who you're talking to and what they really know, which isn't always the same thing. So it's like people will be working on the movie on different parts of the film, so you don't really know what's going on. It's very segregated that way. But it's like, I think it's really late to announce it if he is going to be in it. Like, they should have announced this a while back. Like, I remember with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the tease that Professor X was going to be in the movie came pretty early in the marketing campaign.
Yeah, in the trailer, yeah.
And I wonder whether they wanted to announce this a while back. I wonder whether they actually did want to announce this at San Diego Comic-Con, but just couldn't happen. Personally, I'd be quite surprised if he is in the movie, mainly because it's Black Adam's first solo film, you know, and it kind of indicates to me that Black Adam can't succeed on his own, or at least that's what they think. That they need a Superman cameo in there to make people come into cinemas. Honestly, I would be happy either way. I think the film. I've spoken to you about this before. I think the film's going to be a bit middling, to be honest. But if a Superman cameo is in there, I think it'll do a lot better financially than it would if he's not, which is probably indicative of where they're at with the Black Adam character, to be honest, and what they've done with this marketing campaign. I don't think it's been very good.
Yeah, I think that's kind of one of the angles of it, where what you've got is a character that, you know, not a lot of people know about. I mean, we had the same issue with Guardians of the Galaxy 8 years ago.
Yeah.
But that had the backing of Feige, and the marketing was really good. They had a lot of, you know, high energy marketing. The music, James Gunn, everything else going on with that. And a lot of people were fascinated by it, but they also had the trust built by going all the way through. You know, this was 2 years post Avengers. So, you know, we already had the first arc, the first big battle, the first villain thwarted, so to speak, in Loki. And then now we get these new characters, and they worked out really well. But here, again, this is not a JSA movie. This is a Rock movie. That's what they really want you to know. What they've always wanted you to know is that this is about him. No matter how much he tries to talk them up in the press, and good on him for that, in every stretch of the imagination, good on him for that. But it doesn't matter. All the marketing is about him, which is why, did you watch any of the footage coming out of Mexico the other night? Did you see any of that?
I didn't watch any of that, no.
So they showed off, so they had this, I love this. They had a fan event. And the fan event was just like, hey, we're going to be at this museum or this church or whatever the fuck it is. Come on down, see The Rock, worldwide press tour kicks off here. And you're like, okay, cool. They're going to show the movie. They showed a slightly extended trailer that mentions a bit more about Cyclone, saying that she is has 160 IQ or whatever. and then a little bit more about Atom Smasher, and that's about it.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. It's literally like 10 extra seconds.
Yeah.
And then they showed a clip from the movie where he kills all the mercenaries in that one room, which we've been seeing for literally now over a year.
That was like
about a year now.
I think that's the first clip that came out of that.
A fandom. Yeah. So that's what we saw right away, was just all that stuff. So it's been a lot of the same marketing. We've only had 2 shots of Sabak officially. And one of them, the clear shots of his back. The other one is him fighting Hawkman, but you're more focused on the fact that he turns his mace into an axe, which is cool. And then that's it. And other than that, it's just like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And you're like, all right. So what else is this movie going to offer me? This guy, I was born out of rage. My son gave his life to save me. I'm not a hero. I kill people. And then of course, Dr. Fate, well, you can either save this world or destroy it, whatever. And you're like, all right, that's all we've been hearing. But have you noticed though, that he has dropped the hierarchy of power is going to change in the DC universe, right? He's dropped that marketing line.
He has, yeah, which
everyone's memed it.
Yeah, everyone's memed it, but also it probably hasn't. it's like that there's, I wouldn't be surprised if the reason he's dropped that is because Henry Cavill's in the movie, which would confuse people. If you're saying something like that, then you're thinking, okay, well, they're moving on from the old guards, but they're not. They're obviously not. The actors are still involved, and honestly, I think they're not sure of how well this movie's going to do. If the film doesn't perform well, then they might not make a sequel, because Warner Brothers is in such a bad state financially. Will they be able to make another movie if they don't think it's going to make its money back at least? So it's a really tricky situation to be in. I honestly not sure. I know people in the US love The Rock, but people call him franchise Viagra and all of that, but he's not actually a proven like bankable star on his own.
Thank you.
I've
been saying that forever. I get so much shit.
Matt very happy.
I get so much shit for that, dude. Like,
I don't understand why, because I cannot think of what San Andreas was a film that he kind of was his own film, and what was it?
It did well enough to where they were like, let's do a sequel, and then that sequel never materialized.
Yeah, and
because how do you do another sequel?
Yeah, it's happening again.
No, it spreads apart and the fault grows bigger. No.
Yeah.
He goes on holiday to Italy and it happens there. It's like,
what, that could actually be a thing, and that would be very interesting. Then we're getting into Roland Emmerich territory.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than, was it Rawson Marshall Thurber, whatever his name is, the guy who did.
Yeah, it was a very Roland Emmerich movie.
I actually never saw it, to be honest with you, but it was like, oh, okay, Rock's in a movie, he's a helicopter pilot. Fault line goes off. Yeah, okay.
But this is the problem I have with The Rock. It's like you're always very aware that it's The Rock. Like, you know how usually actors can inhabit other roles. The Rock literally plays the same thing over and over again. It's literally him in a movie. That's the problem.
Even try to look like Black Adam in this one. Like, a lot of people like criticize, like, oh yeah, he doesn't have like any like hairpiece, ears are the same, doesn't have an accent or anything. It's like, oh yeah, he speaks a couple lines of Egyptian or wherever the language is that Black Adam speaks, but it's like, it's pretty much just a Rock in costume with like a little bit of like oh yeah, he's playing Black Adam. That's pretty much how a lot of people feel about it.
But I also think that that's what the marketing's been leaning on, is the fact that it's The Rock playing Black Adam. And it's like, when I go into a comic book, any sort of movie, I'm never very interested in that. I'm not interested in the person that is starring in the film. I'm interested in how the movie looks, whether it's going to make me, like you talked about Guardians of the Galaxy before.
Yeah.
The reason why people saw that was because it looked really fun. This movie doesn't look fun. It just doesn't to me, and I think this might be Warner Brothers marketing panicking. Like, we all know what they do. Like, I'm pretty sure James has talked to you about this. Like, you will be approached by people who are connected to the marketing team, and they will tease you some information about what's coming up in the next movie, which is genuinely how these like how the Hollywood Reporter works. It's how we work. I'm giving you a bit of a inside baseball
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, it will be people that are in the marketing department that will tell you things. And they will with the expressed desire for you to then share this, because then they don't have to spend millions of dollars on marketing. It's literally free marketing for them. So that's how I honestly, I don't know how a lot of these scoopers work, but that's how the industry works. And this, to me, like all this Henry Cavill teasing, indicates to me that they're starting to panic a bit, and they want to get this out without having to necessarily post some sort of teaser trailer with him in it, because they're just either they're not ready, or he's not in the movie enough, or it's literally just going to be an ending thing where it's like it's a post-credit scene in which he turns up. I heard there's a post-credit scene with Amanda Waller, was the last thing I heard, and
yeah, I heard about the Amanda Waller post-credit scene.
Yeah, which would again explain why why they're not teasing it, or why they're not showing it to you, because it's literally at the end of the movie. The only studio crazy enough to do that would be Sony, where they literally tease they show the post-credit scene.
But again, and I've talked about this before, so to my audience, they've heard me prattle on about this, but go back and look at Venom fan film screening. We heard about the Spider-Man cameo at the end. Didn't know what it was, just that it was Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
And then they kept it kind of under wraps. But then Sony put out marketing saying like literally like the next day after the news broke, the universe is about to expand.
Yeah.
And obviously, like it's a bit of a double meaning, right? Oh, it's the universe. Yeah, they're going to expand by having Carnage, and they're making headway with this world and whatever. You can interpret it like that, but the reality of it is it's going to expand because there is a Super Spider-Man tease in the movie, and that's what fans have wanted. So the marketing played into that, and it did double the take home for the opening weekend. And then, of course, after that, Venom 2 kind of tanked because it just wasn't the greatest film ever. And I think this one is going to have a kind of a same thing. It's like, if the studio doesn't come out, like let's say Cavill's in the movie, and people go see it, and like we'll find out right away that Cavill's in it, like next week it will happen. And then, if they don't immediately announce more for him to do, they've already lost the game. If they don't come out and go, we're doing Man of Steel 2 or Justice League, whatever, with Henry Cavill as Man of Steel, as Superman, they've already lost, because you can't tease it and then not immediately reward that tease.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And they tried that with the DC League of Super Pets, where, again, you had, the movie comes out, it does what, like 20 million, I think, in its opening weekend or something like that. And then The Rock puts out the shot of Black Adam in the post-credit scene. And then the next weekend, that didn't bring people in, because why the fuck would it? No. Why would you go, I'm going to go see DC League of Super Pets for this post-credit scene so I can see The Rock interact with The Rock?
Yeah.
Okay, they use the same voice. All right. One of them sounds remarkably like Maui. That's kind of weird. And then, but then like the next week after that, he releases the entire post-credit scene. And you're like, what are you trying to do? Are you just trying to drum up hype for Black Adam, thinking that this is going to be a big summer movie, that families are going to rush out to this, and that you're teasing this character who's like literal marketing, like the whole marketing approach has been, I murder people. It's basically about it. Is they keep saying that. He keeps saying like, heroes don't kill, I do. We see the new trailer. Again, like they showed the fight scene. He tears off a guy's arm. It starts to twitch when he drops it. That was pretty dope.
I mean, it looks like very violent. It looks like a lot of people, I think, are going to really like this movie. I think a certain section of people are going to really enjoy it because of that, because it's like a violent superhero movie that people have wanted for such a long time.
Yeah.
But again, that doesn't always make a very good film. Like I remember there was, I think it was a James Gunn produced film that came out a couple of years ago called Brightburn. Which a lot of people were like, oh, this is going to be so good. It's like Dark Superman. It's like going to be so violent and stuff. The film came out, it wasn't very good. It was pretty kind of average, to be honest. And this is what I'm worried about here. I'm worried that they kind of went into this film being like, I want this to be the most violent, like The Rock was like, I want this to be the most violent superhero movie ever. I want Black Adam to be like, but it's going to end up being kind of quite middle of the road, because in the end, he's just going to become the good guy anyway. And I don't think that'll be very interesting. I don't know. I'm just not sure about this film. I think the marketing department have really messed it up, and they keep on showing the same scenes. Honestly, I'm surprised there hasn't been a fan event where they've actually shown the movie to get some buzz out there. That's really odd that they haven't done that.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't do that at the event in Mexico.
Yeah,
that's the big thing. Like you're kicking off your world tour. The movie's been done since it's been finished since Comic-Con. It was because remember it was supposed to come out before Comic-Con originally.
Yeah.
Before they moved it to where the Flash was going to be. And so the movie had to be done months in advance, effectively, for the marketing and everything else. So the thing was done by Comic-Con. And the director had said it in an interview around that time. So they've just been sitting on this movie, I think, trying to figure out the best way to market it. And again, it's kind of like they're just banking on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And like my friend was in here the other night. He's like, oh, look at his Instagram. He's got 339 million people.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, and that is not anything to scoff at by any stretch of the imagination. But if he's got 339 million people, and when he posts something, it gets like 200,000 likes.
Yeah, that's indicative of,
like there's a lot there of like, oof, that number is, and his Twitter is like, I think like 19 million or something. Let me see. I can look at this real quick. His Twitter is 16.5 million. He posted like 9 hours ago. He did this Project Rocks. Black Adam and Under Armour are teaming up to push merch for if you want to get swole like The Rock,
honestly,
get Under Armour.
He is a very good businessman. I'm gonna give him that.
Oh no, I give him all the credit for that one there. Yeah. But even then, he's 9 hours ago, 16.5 million followers, only 2,900 likes, 118 comments. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, this is what he averages.
Yeah.
He averages about, I'm looking at it, scrolling through. He barely cracks, he did the trailer for Black Adam a couple days ago, 3 days ago, or 4 days ago. That has got 6,200 likes. And other than that, you're looking at like some of these just kind of go either way. So there's not a lot of love there in regards to that. So, all right, Jimbo had to bail out. Thanks for coming in, Jimbo. Sorry I missed it. So there's just like a lot. I don't know. I'm hoping that the movie does well. But I agree at this point, they just got to say, hey, listen, Cavill's in it.
Yeah.
Like just give the fans, let them know, because I do think, look, I'll be honest. I think that if they come out and they go, Cavill's in this movie, confirmed 100%, then all the Snyder fans will come out and they'll drag fuckers to this movie. They will drag people. They will promote this movie like no other if they know that he's in it. But until then, a lot of them have kind of been like ragging on the movie. But now I've been looking around on Twitter because this announcement tonight, and he's back in the red and blue suit with the John Williams score.
Yeah.
And so again, people just want Cavill with the black suit. And John Williams, what about Junkie XL? Why are you fucking over my boy? Like, right? Like,
you can't win.
You just can't. You're right. You just cannot win under any circumstance. It just becomes the weirdest thing. So, if they come out and they say he's in it, we're good. I do think then that a lot of people will jump on board.
Yeah.
And they need that within the last 2 weeks leading into this film coming out, because I don't think the pre-orders are selling that well.
Well, it's actually not even available here yet to book your ticket in France.
Okay.
That's actually one thing I was really surprised by. I go to the cinema a lot in France, and I haven't seen any promotional material for Black Adam here. I can only really go off, what I'm seeing in France, but it's like no trailers for the movie. It's really odd, really, really odd. I don't know. People just don't seem very interested in it, and that's outside of the US though.
Yeah, well, I mean, the US is, okay. So the other, and I've told this here on the show. I do like Uber delivery, right? I do Uber Eats and stuff. And so I'm picking up food from a Mexican restaurant a couple of weeks back, And there's these 3 white kids, teenagers, sitting around, and they're having a conversation, surprisingly, about The Rock. And as I'm waiting, I just listen into what they're saying. And they start talking about Red Notice and how bad Red Notice was. And they go, it's just one guy goes, I haven't seen it. And then one guy goes, if you ever seen a Rock movie, you've seen Red Notice.
Yeah.
He just plays himself. Like, there's nothing about that. And then again, I think one of the guys had mentioned something about Black Adam coming up or whatever, but it's like, people are aware that they're just seeing, they're just seeing him. And it's kind of funny because, people will bring up, well, what about like Schwarzenegger? Schwarzenegger was in all these movies. It was an event to go see a Schwarzenegger film. You're getting him. I'm like, well, but look at the difference in those kind of movies, right? You would have, what is it? 1991 or 1990 Total Recall, sci-fi action movie, Richard Kimball. Oh no, sorry. That's Kindergarten Cop. Right.
Yeah.
But
Kimball.
it's like, you got the character from, like the every guy in Total Recall. He's playing that, but go look at Commando. He's like a former special forces guy, so he's playing it a little differently. And then you look at, again, Kindergarten Cop, and he's playing a San Francisco detective, or, that has to go now and teach all these kids. And it's a totally different idea. He can still play the role, but it's the nuance within the performance that sells it in the different ways. Stallone can do that as well. Not as good as Schwarzenegger, in my opinion.
No.
Because again, look at like Junior, for crying out loud, Twins,
Yeah, Twins.
Tons of those films that he was in that was like that. But then The Rock is just like, oh hey, it's Dwayne.
Yeah, I will say with Stallone, I actually think he's a very good writer. Like the stuff he's written, I actually think is quite compelling. Like Rambo, I think is did he write Rambo? Or he wrote Rocky, didn't he? He wrote Rocky. I think he might have written Rambo. He definitely helped write the Expendables films.
Yeah, I think he wrote and directed the first one. I know he directed the first one. I think and I like the Expendables movies.
I do. I think they're pretty good.
They're fun. They're for what they are. Cause he knows if you look at like the Rambo, the last couple of Rambo films, Rambo Last Blood was an interesting movie. Not my favorite of the franchise.
No.
I enjoyed the violence of it, but I really liked 2008's Rambo.
Yeah.
Like, holy fuck, did I love that goddamn movie.
It's very violent.
Oh my God. And what I loved was like reading the body counts from the previous films. And it's like, First Blood, 1 death, like First Blood Part 2, like 70 deaths. Rambo 3, 160 deaths. And then you get to Rambo and it's like 279 or something. It's just like chaos and carnage incarnate. And I love it. But it had a good story and good performances and a lot of elements that really kind of made it this very unique movie at the time. And also coming at the fact that he just did, Rocky Balboa 2 years prior.
Yeah.
And that was, again, like this, like how he channeled it into these characters. So he can do character acting, I think, if he's kind of behind it. Whereas Schwarzenegger can do more to like kind of get into the project. Kurt Russell, we know it's Kurt Russell, but you also get that you get a different approach to Kurt Russell. Bruce Willis, similar, but there's always kind of a different vibe to it. And
early Bruce Willis was really good. Like,
yeah.
But I honestly, this is the problem I have with The Rock, is that he's not able to differentiate between his projects. He's always playing the same person. And he's always has to be the hero. That's one thing that I actually think is a problem, because if you were to look at, say, actually, I think The Rock's best performance, was he in one of the Get Shorty movies? Was he in Get Shorty?
He wasn't in, that was Travolta, wasn't Get Shorty.
Was that Travolta?
He wasn't in, The Rock was in Be Cool.
Be Cool, that was it. I think it was that where he played like a bit of a different character to what he usually plays. Yeah, and that was quite interesting. I think he needs to diversify. Like, I really do. And I think that's the difference between him and these other actors, is that they were willing to kind of take on different roles. Like, I mean, Schwarzenegger kind of kicked off his career by playing a villain. He in the Terminator, which The Rock's never done. Like, what's his face?
Doom. He was the bad guy.
That is true. That is true.
And he does have one of, I think, the best lines of his entire career comes from that, when at the very end before the confrontation, he breaks down the door and just goes, "Semper Fi, motherfucker." You know, like I really got a kick out of that. Also,
I rewatched Doom recently. Actually.
It's not a good movie, but like, you know, it's cute.
I completely forgot that Rosamund Pike was in that movie.
Yeah, well, the imp was played by Doug Jones.
Yeah.
And I know Doug. I've worked with him on a couple different projects, actually.
Cool.
I was just watching Hocus Pocus 2 tonight, and he pops up again as Billy Butcherson, and I'm just like, hey, Doug. You know, not that we're on first name basis or whatever, but like, you know, he's a really good guy. But yeah, it's that's a fun movie from back in the day. The sequel came out. Apparently, it was terrible. I never watched it. But no, you're right though. It's like these characters, like you want to see him expand, right? And we talked. Someone mentioned this the other night, where apparently there's more Southland Tales coming from Richard Kelly. And I'm like, okay, but well, Roman Numeroso says the Rundown and Walking Tall, you know, and I think The Rock did really good in The Rundown, but I do feel that was also Peter Berg really bringing out that kind of fun 80s 90s action star vibe, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, having the very beginning of that movie, having him pass by Schwarzenegger in the club and Schwarzenegger saying good luck to many people at the time was seen as like a passing of the torch.
Yeah.
You know, and because I watched The Rundown a lot. Like a lot. You know, but then you get Walking Tall. Did you ever see Walking Tall?
I haven't seen Walking Tall, no.
It was his follow-up movie. It's him and Johnny Knoxville. You know, and he's a sheriff in a small town, and I think they take on like a logging company or whatever, right? You know, those kind of stories. But it was well done. And it was so funny too, because we know that The Rock notoriously doesn't really do sequels. At least he didn't for a while with these franchises. So Kevin Sorbo ended up taking on the role for like the other two movies, which is just a complete departure.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying it is a very interesting world when you start looking at just like, I think you and I will look at it differently because we like spectacle, but we also like good stories and good performances. And I feel like, if I'm just going to be honest with you guys, I feel like Dwayne The Rock Johnson has just gotten lazy. And because why move out of your comfort zone when you're being paid $20 million a picture to just be you? There's no point for that. The only way it's going to work, the only way he's going to expand upon his career, I think is if he starts to tank. And I do think this is his last go.
Potentially, yeah. I will say I do like the first Jumanji movie. I think that's it. That's a fun film, which he kind of plays against type in that film, which I quite like.
And I think that's what people enjoy about that is it's him, because like, have you seen the meme of it's just like he wears the same outfit in every movie?
No, I haven't, but I do see that. He does.
Yeah, like, let's see, hold on. Rock, same outfit meme. If I could find it real quick here. Yeah, here, I'll bring this up here in a second once it saves. But there's just a lot that goes into this stuff where you just like, there's people, you can make fun of it because it's true. And I think he kind of gets that, but he still just doesn't care. Like, here we go.
There you go.
These are 5 separate movies. And he's wearing, like, looks the same.
Pretty much.
No change. And I think I don't know. That's just where I'm at with it, is I want there to be a little diversification and in these roles.
Yeah.
And I would, he keeps talking up like his performance in Black Adam and, how he kind of pushed it to the limit and things like that. And I'm like, how far can you push these performances? Because, did you see Jungle Cruise?
Yes, I did. Unfortunately.
So same director.
Yeah.
Right. Right. How's your feelings on Jungle Cruise?
I thought that was really boring. I liked I liked him and Emily Blunt's kind of that they had good chemistry in the film, which I thought I was actually quite surprised by. I didn't expect it. But the film again is just this is what I think that Black Adam will be like, very similar to Jungle Cruise. It's like in a kind of, I just feel like it'll just be like meh, at the end of the movie, you're just like, okay, that was fun. I watched that. I won't be watching that again, kind of thing. I'm surprised they're making a sequel to that as well, which I find
another surprisingly though, it did actually do 100 million domestic box office. So even though it was on day and date with Disney through their premium plus thing. So I know I don't remember if they ever reported how much money it actually made at $30 a pop, but people did go see it. So there's that. I mean, I watched it when it came out and I was like, okay, I was like, I enjoyed their chemistry. I thought some of the set pieces were fun, but by the end of the movie, I'm like, didn't I fucking play this in like Uncharted 2? Like you got the Tree of Life thing and you've got like the Eternal Warrior thing and like, all right, and then like, he's like, I'm a conquistador. Like, oh, where's your accent?
Yeah, exactly. Like, how did you develop this American accent in the middle of the Amazonian rainforest
that you've been in for like a couple hundred years?
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, all right.
Even when he's supposed to be like a Spanish conquistador, he still doesn't have. Does he speak Spanish? I don't think he does.
I don't know if he does or doesn't.
I can't remember.
Because I mean, if you watch again, you didn't see it, the press conference, the Q&A that they had done in Mexico. He was trying to like speak Spanish at some point and asking him what certain words means and then trying to say it, but he sounds like a gringo. He climbs to the top of this church and he addresses the crowd. They're in fucking Mexico and he does it in English, but then they go down and like everything's in Spanish afterward. It's just pretty fun, and then again, everyone on the black carpet, because the whole thing was all, very on brand. He was, they were asking him questions in English. One of them, I'll tell you this is what I hate about this promotional shit. One of the guys who was there, is from Panama.
Yeah.
And he was all like, he's like, oh, big fan. Terramana tequila is my favorite. I went to Miami last year. I brought back a bottle. Now everybody wants to come to my house and drink Terramana in Panama, and The Rock's like, cool. And you can almost see like, he's just like, dude, like, my dick's down here, my eyes are up here. Like you don't need to suck my dick this much to get my attention.
Yeah.
But it felt like that. And that's the thing I really dislike about studio press, these press tours, like all these people who put on the fake smile and the fake approach to it. And they just want to like ask these, so insanely inept, just dumb questions.
You're going to have to come. If you ever come to France, I will have to invite you to a French press conference because they are hilarious. With the French press, they always ask the funniest questions. I remember I was at one for, I think it was Civil War back in the day. And Robert Downey Jr. was there. And literally this guy, this French journalist, they always ask crazy questions. Like, it's something about how do you get into Tony Stark mode? Do you like? It's just a really odd, and like literally Robert Downey Jr. was just looking at him as if he was crazy, and it's like this always happens. And then you compare it to what happens in the UK, where I don't know. Have you ever heard of Keely Hawes? She's like an English.
I have not.
She's in The Bodyguard, which was the series that Richard Madden was in, where everyone was like, Richard Madden should play Bond after watching this series. And it's just, I find it really funny because there's such a difference between like how the French are always trying to be like so like introvert and try and explain what's going on and want like what's the meaning of life kind of question. And then in the UK, this guy who was from the Sun newspaper asked Keely Hawes, what's it like being a really fit middle-aged woman? And Keely Hawes is quite a good-looking woman, but she was just shocked. And I was like, this is hilarious. I love doing those sorts of press conferences because you cringe, but it's quite funny.
Yeah. Well, there was one, I forget where it was. It was Fan Four Stick, right? 2015's Fantastic Four. Yeah. And like one guy, it was like, I think like a shock jock radio or host or something like that. He was a radio host. Started like making comments about Kate Mara's feet.
Oh.
Like it was uncomfortable and it got called out back then as, this is 2 years before Me Too. And it was just pretty funny because you're like, oh my God, like what the hell? Why would you? But then again, like I can understand like if you're trying to like get a rise or get a shock out of them, but it's like these actors, like I'll tell you what I hate are fan questions, right?
Yeah,
like not my audience. You guys are fucking phenomenal with your questions, are great. But you go to these conventions, I'll tell you the funniest one. So do you remember the animated movie 9 with Elijah Wood?
Yes, yeah, that was an interesting film.
It was, right? It was cool. So it also had Jennifer Connelly in it. And at Comic-Con, they'd finally gotten like Tim Burton to come out. He'd been famously just refusing to go to Comic-Con, but they were like, we're going to give you this like Lifetime Achievement Award. So he came out for it, but he was promoting 9 because he was a producer on it. He was executive producer, but people were believing that the executive producer was also the director because it was like Tim Burton presents 9.
Which happens a lot with Tim Burton. Everyone thinks he directed The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Exactly. Yeah. I think now 30 years on, we now know mostly that it's Henry Selick, but yeah, you're right. There was a lot of confusion about that. So someone asked him like, what was it like directing this movie? And he just goes, I didn't direct it. I was the executive producer. And in reality, all I did is just make a couple phone calls.
Yeah.
And that's it, right? That's about it. And then like, it was like Tamir Betmetnabov, who did Wanted, was also another producer on it. They didn't really ask him anything, but they showed off an action scene from the movie. And then they did fan Q&A afterward. Right. So this is also after the directing comment. This one lady goes up to the mic, and you can, people are nervous when they go up there. They want to ask questions, but they're nervous. I get it.
Yeah.
She goes up to the mic and she just goes, Miss Connolly, I have a question for you. What was it like doing the action scenes for this movie?
Yeah.
And Jennifer Connelly, bless her heart, right, was just like, well, it's an animated movie, so all I did is use my voice. So, and I forget what she says after that, but it was like, oof, oof,
cringe, immediate cringe.
I'll say another one that made me really hate The Big Bang Theory. As if you need a reason to hate The Big Bang Theory, this really made me hate The Big Bang Theory. They had a panel. And again, we're in Hall H, 6,500 people packed to the brim, people waiting for hours to ask questions, right? They get up there and someone asks a question and they just go, could Magneto lift Thor's hammer? I mean, the answer obviously is no, because of the whole fucking purity thing, but it could be debated. And so the guy who plays Raj in the show just basically goes like, dude, we're actors, and just shoots him down. And I'm like, okay, like that's a dick move. Yeah. That's a dick thing to say. But Kaylee Cuoco, to her credit, actually was like trying to kind of figure out a way to answer the question because she knows how to play the audience. And I'm like, I have nothing but respect for Kaylee Cuoco as a result of that.
Really good Harley Quinn.
Really, yeah, I love the show. I haven't seen the season because I don't have HBO Max anymore. But I need to. It's got season 4. I have time. I'm good. So, but what time is it here? Oh, it's like 12:30. I actually have to get to bed.
Yeah.
It's late for me, early for you. But I've wanted to get you on for a while to chit chat about stuff always.
Yeah.
Occasionally James comes on and that's a very monotone conversation.
Tell me about it. I always have to talk to James and it's he's got like the most soporific voice I've ever
heard. Get him to call you when he's drunk.
Yeah, and he has done.
Yeah, and me too. Me too.
Yeah. He's great, but his voice is one of the best voices. But it's very like early kind of 1970s neo-noir voice, like Thriller. It's like that kind of thing. It's really cool. But yeah, if you can't listen to it for too long, I don't know how you managed to do it. Is it like a 5 hours?
Yeah. I can find ways to talk to anybody. I'm good. I always have a litany of things to talk about. And it's not difficult to like, people were bitching in the chat and then he would respond. That to me was hysterical.
Yeah, I know. If there's anything that happens on small screen Twitter, people like, well, apart from recently, if people call us out, if there's anyone that's like furiously typing back, it's James.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. I've corrected you guys, I think 1 or 2 times now.
Yeah.
And then like I kind of laugh about that a little bit because I know that it's James.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wait for like the messages on Facebook to start popping up every once in a while. I'm like, I pissed him off this time.
It's difficult when you post a shit ton of articles every day to get everything right. Sometimes we get
Well, I mean, like I cover true crime on TikTok, right? Because I have my other account, which is now over. It's getting closer to 21,000, which is a lot of fun. And there was an article I read that like about this like this isn't funny, but like a young a mother killed her daughter basically, and like hit her body in a trash can. And one article said that it was inside of a playhouse, inside of a shed. And another article I read said that it was in a trash can behind the playhouse inside of. So what we're talking about is just the location of this trash can, which is a very minute detail in and of itself, considering the horrificness of the crime.
Yes.
But I had said in my reporting on it, because I read the article, that it was inside the playhouse. And this person's all like, it was not, there was no playhouse, and you better get it right before you say anything. And I'm just
always happens.
I'm just like, I'm all like, I know my process for reporting. So like, I paraphrase the fuck out of a lot of shit. So like, I will go back and reread everything just to make sure I'm not messing things up too much. And I go from there, and I'm just laughing my ass off because I commented back, and it's like, I'm like, you're missing the point. Like, if you're upset about where a trash can is at, but not about a baby girl killed, I think we got some priority issues here.
You need to straighten out your priorities.
Yeah. It's always a Karen. It's always a Karen in social media, things like that. It's crazy. Oh, Peter's Rabbit Defender here says this guy looks like Jai Courtney.
I'm not going to take that as a compliment. Is that about me?
Yeah. I do not look like Jai Courtney. I look like Kevin Smith pre-heart attack.
Jai Courtney is honestly, I don't know if he's a good or bad actor. I just cannot tell you. I really
see.
know.
I'm a Jai Courtney fan, man.
Really?
Yeah, really? Dude. Spartacus season 1.
Yeah, I haven't watched The Terminal List. He's in that, isn't he?
He is. I didn't know that.
He's in that. And he's in what we've called him Captain Boomerang, which he's actually not bad in. That was the first movie I watched, the original Suicide Squad, where I was like, actually, he's one of the good things in this film.
He was definitely good in that one. I liked him in Jack Reacher in 2013. He was good in that as like a secondary villain, working with Werner Herzog, which is such a weird choice, but you know what? It worked.
Oh, yes. I look into the abyss, and the abyss looks back into me.
I love Werner Herzog. I had a great meeting with Werner Herzog once, and I interviewed him. And honestly, he is a hero of mine. And I was like, Werner, I do a Werner Herzog impression. And he's like, you have to do it to me. We have to do an interview where you pretend to be me and I pretend to be you. And we look into each other's souls. That's just like, this guy's so mental. he's brilliant, though. He's wonderful. You could probably find it somewhere on YouTube. I did it for The Express a long time ago.
Nice. That's pretty cool, man. I don't have any stories like that necessarily. I think I freaked out Michael Dorn once, Worf from Star Trek, because I was working. We were working on this movie called End of the Road, which I think is on Hulu as like 3, 2, 1 Scream is what they changed it to. I don't know why. The movie's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But the opening of the film is like, it was a mock. We were shooting in a studio, actually on one of the Reaver ships from Firefly. This was at a studio in North Hollywood, and we spent a day filming there. And it's this sci-fi movie thing we're shooting. Like Zach Ward was there, Michael Dorn, Robert Picardo, the guy who created Fangoria magazine was just kind of hanging out.
Cool. I love
that. I chit chatted with him for a while. I'm like, I don't even know why you're here. He's like, I don't know either. I'm just kind of hanging out. LA for you. And it was just funny how my job was I was a grip, but like they also wanted me to do behind the scenes photography. And I was trying to get some interesting pictures, and Michael Dorn thought I was, I think, like creep stalking him or something. So he gave me a lot of really weird looks and then like super cold shoulder. And I was like, all right, fuck you, Worf. And then I saw him like about a year later, and he did not recognize me. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm fine with that. I'm okay if a celebrity doesn't recognize me. Although, was it, speaking of real quick, and then I'll let you go because I gotta get going too, but the Expendables, remember the general in that movie, right? He played Angel in Dexter. I forget his real name. But,
oh yes. Yeah.
So Comic-Con Hall H, I forget which year it was, maybe 2016, 2017, I forget. But like Kevin Smith was getting ready to come on for his panel. And I had gone to the bathroom. I was walking back to my seat and I passed by that actor.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at him and I go like, hey man, big fan. Cause I love him in Dexter and you know, everything else. He seems like a good guy. And he looks at me and he just goes like, he's like, me too.
Well,
and
I'm
like,
fan of him or of you?
Of me.
So,
right. And I'm
he wouldn't give
sorry.
it.
He goes, no, he goes, me too. Yeah. And like, yeah, he's like, oh yeah. And so I'm like,
That's
I'm
cool.
like, at the time I was under the mundane Matt persona and my image was out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, does he watch YouTube? Is he big into the anti-SJW side of things? Does he know about Gamergate? I don't know. But then I'm like, he probably thinks I'm Kevin Smith. You know? And it's like that he probably thought that I was him. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna own that. I'm gonna go with that. Get me into some of these parties. So there's that. All right, okay, fine. Go watch the She-Hulk now.
Yeah, I'll do that later today.
Apparently, this is big. I gotta watch it before I go to bed, obviously. Although I haven't seen Andor yet, but you know,
it's good. It's good. Anyway, enjoy that, and hopefully do this again another time. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. Have yourself a good day. We'll talk again soon.
You too. Cheers.
See you later. See ya. All right, everybody. Edward from Small Screen. Yes, Command Unit. I have it right here. Did not forget. Thank you very much. We'll do the, this is the Warhammer Interrogator, a typical walk with a friend in a hive city.
Food. Steams.
Oh, thank you.
Waste of crates. They'll be as dead as the rest when the war rolls up, Spire.
This place has gone downhill.
How long's it been?
I haven't been this far down since the night I saved you from that Ogren tithe collector.
All right. That's over on Warhammer Plus, huh? That's actually pretty cool, man. That's actually pretty cool. Play. I don't play it at 1.5 speed. That's fine. All right. Everybody wants me to go watch She-Hulk. Here's my question: Is Max the Mandalorian still streaming, or is he done? Because I figured. Oh no, there's a couple supers that I missed. By the way, sorry. Command Unit here for $2. Thanks, buddy. Said, granted, this every Russian in the MCU. I think it's how they're portrayed. I think or whatever. I forget the context of that. I'm sorry. And then Benson for £5 says the fact that Cavill being in this movie is the only thing everyone talks about shows Royd isn't able to carry a movie. Cavill is Bond. UK represent. Hey, listen, man. I understand the representing. I get it. I totally get it. And I totally think that, you know what? I hope you get what you want. I do. I hope you get Henry Cavill as Superman, as Bond. Sorry, it's late and I'm getting kind of sleepy. But that being said, folks, I'm gonna go and check out. I'm gonna go and check out this whole weird thing involving She-Hulk before I go to bed. Tomorrow we got the Mario trailer. Max is done. Yeah, that's true. Tomorrow we got the Mario trailer. That's going to be a big thing. And with any luck, we'll have more to talk about. Again, I do want to organize these streams a bit more. I do want to make them way more streamlined. I do enjoy a good conversation. So thank you to Jimbo. Thank you to Edward. Mo Moon here says, let's have another Dwayne Johnson bullying stream. You can be mad at me all you want, Mo. You can be mad as the day is long, but the people out there are very much not necessarily loving it. So thank you. Reed here says Werewolf by Night is Friday, and so is Hellraiser. So there's stuff to watch. I'm looking forward to that. By the way, I did drop my review of Hocus Pocus 2, which if you guys want to check that out, Podio commentary, it's there. It's not weird. It's big, in fact. All right. Well, I'm going to go watch it. But thank you guys again for hanging out. I really appreciate that. It's been another episode of Hwad, and you never know where the show's going to go, folks. Check out Chirpy. Google Chirpy Animated, and then let me know what you guys think, because goddamn. I will chit chat with you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic night. Peace out.